All right, so this is our session two, but third counting session zero, of the Lantern group that I've been calling it up till now. Um, Jiang Hu, you were not there last session,
Right.
so you were in the Nine Tails, and we
Mm,
have to sort of come up together with like what happened because in the early part of that session, Red Crane dueled against Taishi Yu,
mhm.
humiliated him, and then went off with Xue Xin. I don't have like a really great idea as to like why you were either not present. I do have like a sort of vague idea that might roll us into something, but I'm curious if you have any ideas as to like what would have gotten you out of the room before this conflict started.
Yeah, and I think maybe like just playing off my "it takes a thief" move. Like when I saw trouble starting, just like slide out because like, did not, might have had trouble previous. Did not want any more trouble. Just made a quick exit before the blow started falling.
Sure, fantastic. I love that. Um, and I think the Nine Tails is itself big enough. Like I'm imagining that it's at least like five decks. Now, maybe three of them have access by the public, and then the fifth is like staff.
Yeah.
Um, but if and feel free to do a little world building here. If the casino is where you guys were at, do you fully leave the Nine Tails, or do you go to a different section of the ship? Do you
It'd be
think?
fun to slip into a different section of the ship.
Sure. Do you have any ideas of like uh what is if it's not the casino, then like what chunk of the ship are you going to now? Where does Jianghu slip away to?
Is there anyone that we think that we already know might be in the residential section of it or in the like hotel section of it?
Anybody that you know?
Yeah.
Um
See if we have any.
no, but I have an NPC I'm probably gonna throw at you.
Okay.
A new one. Um So if you want to, we can just say that you wind up, yeah, in sort of like the hotel wing, maybe just a little quiet bar and lounge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very, very tavern, very D&D tavern-esque. Um, but here on a floating casino, and it's a quieter chunk because again, if it's the hotel wing or a residences, temporary residences wing,
Mhm.
they don't want it to be like super loud and
Right.
noisy so people can actually like sleep.
It's more like a
Um,
hotel bar. Yeah. It's
yeah, I kind of want to do a paint the scene here, but I'm not great at like coming up with paint the scenes on the fly, but like something that like uh I think I might have done this like for the casino, but I'm just gonna do it again because why not? Let's paint the scene. Um, how do we know that the gang that runs this place or the people who run this floating casino are in fact a gang? Or yeah, what makes this place just like seedy?
mm.
And this is for everyone, or everyone who wants to contribute a little bit to it.
I think the aromatic oils that are used to suffuse the air, they're just a little too strong. They're
Yeah.
just a little too sweet.
I love it.
They're not precisely cheap, but they're a little gauche.
Like
Like,
cloying. Yeah.
yeah, a little cloying.
Yeah. And I think I've along similar lines, like there's it's not filthy, but I think the staff are more concerned with serving the patrons than cleaning up after them.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think you literally see like on your way here, there's like a petite girl, long black hair. She bumps in to one of the patrons, and you like literally see her like slip
Nice.
some coins out of his pocket as she giggles and like darts away.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and you were not in, or you maybe like get a chance to take like just a few steps into this space and are looking around and you watch that pickpocket situation happen. Um, and there sitting at the bar is a woman slightly older than you. Um, and you recognize her because somebody new walks in the door, and in every pulp, you walk into a tavern, like eyes just have to evaluate the new person.
Mhm.
And so when she turns to look at you, you see that she has this one eye mask. So take a masquerade mask, cut it in half so it just covers her right eye. Um and she's, let me pull up her. She's holding on to this like long pipe, but you don't know if she's actually smoking it or if it's just a comfort object.
Mhm.
And she has these luxurious robes that like expose a little bit more collarbone, not full shoulder, but just a little more collarbone than usual, because that's the kind of place this is. um and when she sees you and recognizes you, there's just the tiniest little curl upward of the corner of her mouth, and she goes, well, hey, stranger. It's been a long time. And I'll tell you now. This woman's name is um, uh, her name is Zhang Ren. But she is in the Wulin. She is in the Wulin world. Her Wulin name is Fading Glint.
Mhm.
She was your brother's beloved back when she was alive, or back when he was alive, back when Jiang Hu was alive.
Right. Um, do you think we parted on how did we with
I
my brothers?
think I
Yeah,
think when Shan Hu died, um, they were like a Wulin romance power couple.
right.
So like, uh, you know, not husband and wife. They never married. But it was just like when they fought together, it was like leaf in a wind.
Mhm.
They sort of danced together, and when your brother was killed and she was injured, her eye injury is from the Wicked Pavilion Righteous Alliance conflict. Um, and she wears that mask to sort of hide whatever injury is underneath it. She was taken just by a full court melancholy. And
Mhm.
I think the last words that you remember hearing from her weren't actually to you, but a letter from her to probably your parents saying, I need to leave the world for a while.
Mhm.
And that was the last you ever saw her or heard of her for the last 12 years. So I don't know. I'm willing to like leave it kind of open and vague as to what her feelings towards you were,
Yeah, yeah,
but enough to say that she recognized you.
yeah. And I think there's like a moment of processing, like, who is that? Oh, that's who that is. Are they mad at me, or do they even care that I'm here? And then kind of like slipping back into the jovial mask while trying to like figure all that out. And I think pull up next to her and say, "Welcome back to the world. It has been a long time."
Yeah, and some things changed. Look at the
Something
handsome
like that.
man you've become. And she like, like squeezes onto your arm, kind of, in a sort of big sisterly way.
Mm-hmm. Is it a coincidence that I find you here?
No. Well, not a coincidence that I'm here, but I'm curious what your business with the Taishi clan is.
No business if I can help it. Just having a night out with some friends who seem to have gotten lost.
Mm. Well, if it's entertainment, then your business certainly is with the Taishi clan. It seems like they own half this town now.
Somebody has to, I suppose.
Yeah, anybody but them, really.
Do you have business with them as well?
I do, but
Not entertainment.
no. Um, and she clams up a little bit, sort of. She has a little drink in front of her, but she hasn't been drinking it. It's
Mhm.
almost sort of there as like ornamental, but you see her with her open hand just like pick it up and sort of like swirl whatever's in there around in the glass.
Yeah.
But when you sort of, even that like little bit of prying has her turn sort of away from you a little.
Um, I think I dropped some of the jovial mask and say, I'm sure the years since we last met have been difficult for you. And if there's anything you need to speak about,
Sounds like we're moving towards a move here.
yeah, I'm trying to figure out which move that is.
I'll kind of let you choose. If you want to learn something more about the world or establish new facts,
Mm,
that would be a study. If you want to pressure her, she is susceptible to your words. Say what you're
mm.
trying to get them to do and roll. But again, if it is trying to get answers out of her, it sounds more like that would be study.
I think it is study. Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe metal, I think that is kind of calculation and reflection.
Sure. I love it.
Yeah. Cool. So that's a plus one there. Two dice. Plus one. That's a 10. So that's two hold. Spending hold to ask a question about it. Um, I think I'd like to learn her scale for starters.
Uh she's been out of the world for a while. Um, but oh, what is her weapon? Did I actually give her one? I don't think I did. Um, she has an umbrella next to her. Um, she's sitting on the bar stool, and then leaning up next to her is this umbrella, and it's an umbrella you've seen before because that is her weapon.
Mhm.
It's reinforced. Uh, it can take a sword blow just like anyone else, and she has a really unique combat style
Mhm.
that utilizes this umbrella. And there's probably a blade hidden in it somewhere in case she needs lethality. Um, uh, and um, you find out that she is on your scale. She's probably equal scale to you. So she is still a active combatant.
Right.
Um, and I don't know exactly how you would learn that. Maybe it's just the way that like she sort of like swirls the liquid in her glass. Like there's a strength to the way that she holds it, or maybe you do something.
Like
Um,
drop something and she.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, let's you order a drink or she orders a drink for you, and you go to do that like oops I dropped it, and she reaches out and snatches it,
Yeah.
and so
Without letting any drop out. Yeah.
she's still got those reflexes.
Fantastic.
um and on a 10, and you're Jiang Hu, she does not suspect that you did that to test her.
Mhm.
Cool, you have one more hold.
Cool. Do I get basic information as well as the whole questions?
Sorry, what basic information. Uh, uh, I'm like, what questions did you have that I could give you basic information for?
Yeah.
That's not part of that question.
Yeah.
Um, uh, uh,
I think the question that Jiang Hu's most interested in is like, is she here to is she here after somebody, or is she,
Sure,
involved in some
absolutely.
vengeance or a plan of some kind or
Yeah,
whatever?
I'll give you that basic information in a second. What is your second hold actual question there?
I think it's the question about a person. I think it's a question about Shan Hu, and that's like, does she how to put it? Like, is she still like have strong feelings for him, whatever those feelings were, or has she kind of like accepted it and moved on with her life?
Do you want to tell me or do you want me to tell
I
you?
think I'd like you to tell me. Yeah,
Um,
and I think the way, like conversationally, um, at whatever else was saying, I mentioned my brother and say, he fought bravely. His death was a great blow to me, a tragedy. But I'm sure it must have been equally as bad for you, and kind of let her fill in the blanks there.
she puts on a brave face when you bring up your brother, and it's definitely clearly still a point of soreness. I think actually Jazzy in the chat kind of has the thumb on it. Does anybody ever really truly move on in the Wulin
Right.
world?
Mm.
But oh, man, for now, I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Like her that cloud of sorrow that began 12 years ago is permeating every fiber of her being, everything that she says. Even like there's a point where again, like she complimented earlier to say, like, look at what a handsome swordsman you've become.
Mm.
But even then, like even behind her smile, there is just this like bottomless well of darkness and sorrow that even her smile cannot hide. But before you can reflect too much on that, the double doors to the next wing of the Nine Tails swing wide open, and in strides a man in a impeccable, the most like impeccable, like ostentatious silk suit that you've ever seen. It's like this sort of like pale gray, but it is embroidered with gold thread that's been like braided together to look like ropes. And it's it fully embroiders all of his suit. Um, he has like this waxed manicure, this waxed like perfectly like curled mustache. And like short cropped hair, would look somewhat similar to Taishi Yu, because it's this man's father, and I think he's like beginning to get that like salt and pepper because he's got a 20 something year old son, so he's
Mm.
getting that salt and pepper look in his hair. um and uh and he comes in the door and he's got a bodyguard on each side of him that like try and do their best to remain visibly invisible, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Um, but he strides in with the confidence of a peacock and goes, uh, "Oh, Chang Ren, I knew I would find you here. You're always here sulking at the bar when you could be on my arm and entertaining people here with me. Why don't we come for a stroll around the casino wing?" And he marches right over to the two of you. "And who is this?" And this guy like immediately just sizes you up in a way that just makes you feel like scum on the bottom of his shoe.
um, and I think I play up being drunker than I am a little bit, and just say, "I'm nobody. Who are you?"
Um, camera freeze frames on him, and we see like the Chinese characters like burn into the screen in true Wulin style introduction. This man is Taishi Clan, patriarch of the Taishi Clan, owner of the Nine Tails floating casino. And just by looking at him, I don't even necessarily need to paint the character for this. Like, Fading Glint's appraisal of him was accurate. He probably owns half of this town. Um, yeah, and Red Crane, that is correct. You humiliated his son, and I think like in the director's cut of this, right now you would be in the process of humiliating his son about 100 yards, less than 100 yards away. So, yeah, let's cut away really quickly to Xue Xin, um, and catch up with you. When we last saw you, you were punching some stuff, right?
Yeah, I was angsting.
Do you want to roll right into the new technique move and see like how that starts to develop, and we'll take the scene from there? Or do you want to go into that with a little scene prior?
I think we can roll and I guess see where it goes from that. I think yeah, the setup is basically where we left up last session. So like lightning strikes, a bamboo tree like cracks and falls into the forest. As Xue Xin's eyes are just cold, like the kind of like a frozen river where underneath it still streams and it's just like this cold layer of ice and steel and hatred as she is trying to cope with the enormity of everything that just happened, and the only way she knows how to do that is to be better at killing people. That's sort of the only part of her like foundational aspect of herself that she feels she has still like a grasp on. Um, so let's see. Up, up, up.
Yeah,
I will roll. I've only seen him once in fighting form, or them in only once, right?
yes. Let me find the new technique. I think it's in other moves. Yeah, other moves.
Yes.
When you go off to develop a new technique or face an NPC foe of higher skill, describe your montage, which you did, and roll plus the number of times you've seen it. Yes, so it would be +1.
That is a 7.
7, fantastic. Um, so on a hit, you gain scale against your foe. This person was just a lieutenant. They're not fully Princess Invincible, so I think it's safe to say you can equalize your scale next time you fight them. Even well, I shouldn't qualify that because a roll may lead it to where like you have to do like an overcome to close the distance. But if you can get close to them,
Yeah.
you will at least be uh, you will at least be on the same scale. There's a significant cost though to learning the move.
I have an idea unless you have something.
I would love to hear your idea.
I mean, I think what I need to do, because I think last time what got me was twofold. One, it was Jade Wind sort of stepping in and me having to take care of them and taking that hit and losing, right? Getting like thrown through that building. And I think given like what just happened with Red Crane, I think there's a part of like me hardening myself, like next time Jade Wind's just getting punched, right? Like I'm not doing that. Like next time I cannot take care of someone else and win this fight. But then we sort of see immediately like that part of her heart that is like already rebelling against the thought of Jade Wind getting hurt and is already like deeply upset at it, even though it hasn't even happened. And I think Dachi sort of like picks up on that and starts. I think what I need to do here is basically merge even more with Dachi to get like a sort of even more supernatural speed than I would have. Like I think we even see like we see the lightning, and instead of like punching these trees and like dodging these trees, I start to dodge actual lightning. And I get her there And when it strikes, there's just like this faint like glimmer, this shift, like, like that dash effect in video games, and I'm like somewhere else, like very much like how we saw Datie when I talked to her, as I let her take even more of my life, of my chi, of my soul, to maybe next time be able to defend someone and kill that guy.
Yeah, and uh I think when Datie takes a little more, when you open the doors a little bit more to Datie, um you dodge this lightning bolt, and the after images like catch back up to you, and you turn and see emerging from the darkness Jade Wind. He's been watching this training for a while because you are his shifu, and he's blanked his facial expression. But when the camera like swings around and pans so we can see what he is seeing, those veins of corruption of Dajie's influence have like begun to spread up towards, your eyes. And we even see him like start to raise his hand a little bit as if to like sort of try and reach out and cross the distance between you two. And he holds his hand there and it falls, and he sinks down to his knees and presses his forehead to the dirt as if to oh sorry, yeah, Jade Wind is she, my apologies. um she sinks down to her knees and presses her forehead to the dirt as if in reverence, and as if to acknowledge your new technique, uh, your newfound power.
I
Truly,
think
you are the greatest Wulin warrior.
Yeah, I think Xue Xin immediately, like all of that, like hatred and brooding and like villainous look, like immediately just like deep discomfort. Like, ew, no, don't do that. Immediately like steps. I think she, like, sort of still in that training, she steps forward and we see that little dash, and she will hoist Jade Wind to her knees and say, "Don't do that. I told you not to do that."
You No, but you are the greatest Wulin warrior that's ever lived. Shifu, I must show you the proper deference for somebody of your status and stature. Uh, you and she starts like going into this whole, you will conquer the world, you will be mistress of the seven seas, the emperor themselves is nothing to Xue Xin.
Yeah, I think halfway sort of through that speech, I throw a punch. And it's like I'm not pulling my punches. Like I'm basically like if she doesn't dodge, she's gonna get thrown through a few threes. But it's like one that she could dodge if she was paying attention. But
um
I do wonder, does it connect or not?
oh yeah, I mean, if you want to, beat your student will be beaten. And
Yeah, I
she
think it's
she
basically like like the tough love learning, right? Like don't talk to me, just train is basically. Because I would maybe, oh, actually, maybe before we say if it connects or not, I think that this might trigger Crimson Charm. Because she's
Oh,
like literally
okay.
singing my praises and I'm like punching her in like both this like way of like maybe actually hurting her or just being like, shut up and just train. Like I don't need you to tell me that I'm good. I need you to be better is like very
Yeah.
much the subtext.
Yeah, when you behave in an aggressive way towards a friend or companion, you get to clear an element and roll. So go ahead and clear an element, and then pick an
Um,
element and roll.
yeah, I will, I think I'll clear Earth because I think that through all of this, I'm getting like my focus back. I'm just, doing the most toxic version of it. But
Absolutely.
technically, I'm getting it back. And I think I would like to roll with fire, for passion. Like, I think there's like something so like emotional about Tracy and like not being able to hear these compliments. Like it's just so against everything that she thinks she is. And like
Hmm.
Jade, when they keep kind of pushing that button without knowing it. So there's just like a little bit of an overreaction there.
Sure.
But let's see. Oh, the dice do love them. It's a 12.
Okay. Um,
The dice wants her to understand. Let me read what that does.
yeah, on a 10 plus, they see past and convince another NPC to believe in you, gain a bond with either person. Fictionally, we don't really have anybody else there, but they might go and
Mhm.
sing your praises to someone.
Yeah, but I'll take a bond with Jade Wind because I don't actually have a bond yet, I think.
I do not see a bond with the two of you. Let's go ahead and take a
Yes.
bond with Jade Wind. I feel like I should give you something extra for 12 plus, but I don't actually this game doesn't do a lot of like 12 pluses. That seems to be a very CFB thing. Um, I'll think on that, but I think for now we'll just live with that 10 plus. And you got to clear an element. It's like there's only so
Mhm.
much stuff I can give you here. Um, do you have a name for this technique?
Oh, goodness.
Well, we haven't caught up with Red Crane yet. So why don't we go ahead and cut the camera over to Red Crane, and that'll give you some time to think of a cool name for this technique. And if you want to describe any more of this like training montage, then we can do that. Red Crane. Where did we last leave off with you?
Yeah,
You were still in
uh,
the Taoist encampment, right?
I am still
Ooh,
at the monk's place, but I was
but you
just going to go and find Jiang Hu to make him tell me about Bitter Crane because I need to find Bitter Crane. However, I think before I am going to do this, I realize that I am in no fit state to go into anything public because I am a little rattled. I'm alone. I can admit this to myself, right?
Mhm.
That this whole thing with Xue Xin being possessed by a demon, I couldn't even exorcise it. I failed. I mean, well, no, that is not helpful. That will not help anyone. So I will, what will I do? Let me look at my character. These are the NPCs. They won't help me. I
So
think,
if you narrate a montage, which it kind of sounds like you're angling towards
yeah.
doing, you can clear an
Mhm.
element.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to do.
Got it. Yeah.
Um, so what do I do to center myself, I guess? I think I think what I am doing is you said it was a pretty steep hill that the monastery was on, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I imagine that there is this little brook that runs down, like almost like a waterfall or something.
Mhm.
And I think I will go and follow that waterfall and try to match the calmness of its movements. Even though it is jumping over rocks and stuff like that, it is still water. It is still calm. And I will try to let that guide me and get me back at least some of my equilibrium, which I kind of desperately need. I will also get my robes wet and slip at one point, but that's just what happens when I do stuff. But yeah, I think that might help center me at least a little. When I arrive at the bottom, there's this little pool, and the water splashes down, but the pool in and of itself is quiet. There's a water lily over there. Somewhere on the wind, we hear someone play a recorder or something, and I can sit, breathe, think of Jijin, breathe again, more deeply. Get to my feet, dust off my ropes, which probably won't help any, and get back to the nine tails because yeah, because I've already forgotten about Taishi Yin, whoever. Um, that guy. I forgot about that guy. I'm pretty sure don't even remember the name. And we'll go and look for Jiang Hu.
Sure. It sounds like you were clearing water.
Yes, I was clearing water.
Sure. Go ahead and clear water.
Yeah,
It's
thank you.
kind of a pun, but not really. Made me giggle.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, okay.
as you're coming out of your meditation, the flute player you mentioned, um, ceases their flute playing. And as you stand up, feeling a little more centered and aware and less isolated and uncertain, um, as you return to the path, you are met by uh, a young looking woman. Wulin has these midnight black silk robes over a sort of crimson, probably underdress that just like is a little bit peeking through between the folds of her robe. And she has this bamboo flute uh, that she's, kind of holding in both of her hands. And and she says, "It's quite peaceful up here, isn't it?"
Yes, quite. I apologize. I have not had the pleasure of your company.
Oh, if I may join you, I didn't mean to offend, and I wasn't
Oh
spying on
no,
you. If
no,
that's
no, no, no. Your play helped me enjoy the peace and quiet more. It complemented the sound of the water quite beautifully.
she doesn't quite blush when you compliment her playing, but she does turn away. So if she was blushing, you wouldn't be able to see it. And she grasps the flute a little tighter and says, "Thank you. I find I find music, the playing of it helps me focus my thoughts. Something my teacher taught me. I'm Onyx Viper,
Oh, oh, I am Red Crane.
Red Crane."
Yes.
Um, she she bows, Wulin sort of introduction,
Mhm. Yeah.
politeness. Um, where are you headed to, Red Crane?
I am going back to the city. I lost a track of a friend of mine in a sort of a little fracas at the Red Nine Tails, and I'm not quite worried about him. He certainly can take care of himself. But I would like to reconnect with him.
The Nine Tails. That's the home of the Taisha clan. Well,
Yes, yes, I've heard of them. They're, I just realized this. They're very important, right?
they would certainly want you to believe so. And like I said, I think Fading Glint's assessment of them was correct. They do own a
Hmm.
not insignificant chunk of town, and run a not insignificant chunk of town.
Ah,
Um,
yes. Well,
but their home base is the Nine Tails, this
mm,
this
mm,
floating casino. But it's kind of typical mafia sort of
mm.
racketeering sort of thing. So they've got their fingers in a lot of pies there.
Yes, but I just realized that maybe beating up their misbegotten descendant was maybe not the smartest strategy.
Wulin warriors getting into trouble because of their fighting, because they fought somebody they didn't fully understand the ramifications of defeating them in a
Yeah.
social context. No. Sorry, no,
No,
I'm
no.
not. Onyx isn't saying this. Wait,
No, please make
have we
that
been
in character.
have we been
Please
having
make
this
that.
conversation in
That would,
character?
that would be
Uh,
spectacular.
I think I think Red Crane is not quite that forthcoming himself.
Okay, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
I
this is
thought this
just
was happening in
this is more
character.
No.
of an inner
Yeah,
monologue
absolutely
going
fair,
on like,
absolutely valid.
oh,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe I should.
Although, yeah, do you tell her that you beat up Taisha?
I might not. No, that would be too much like bragging. I don't brag. I will tell her that I got into a little fracas at the Nine Tails, and that was maybe not the most diplomatic. Um,
Yeah, she reaches out and like grabs your upper arm like gently as if to,
mm.
be like, "Oh my God." And she's like, "You got into a fracas with the Taishi clan?"
I mean, it was not. I was there. We were in a some. I was in a card game. I had a good hand, and they accused me of cheating.
Do me a favor.
Yeah,
I know you're not actively bragging,
I'm not. No, I'm trying to avoid actively bragging, but I
which
might
is in
want.
its own
Yeah,
way kind of
yeah.
impressive.
I know. I
You
know. I
see
know.
where I'm going with this?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm.
Actually,
Yeah, I'm trying to convey this idea that I am just a humble, uh, where is our dice roller?
yeah, I just kind of want to get some dice on the table. And
Yeah, yeah,
this feels like
that's
something that
fine.
might impress Onyx
Yeah,
Viper.
that's fine.
We stand a humble king. We have
Yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, clearly she knows about the Taisha clan.
Mhm.
And if you're going to beat them up, I think already like you see this little sort of like glitter in her eyes.
Yeah, okay, I'm rolling with water because I just got that back.
Okay.
What's my water plus one? There we go. It's a 10.
A 10.
Yeah,
I
I'm super
love it.
impressive.
Okay.
I
On a
am
hit.
super impressive.
Yeah, no, thank God. If it was a miss, I would have to kind of like struggle a little bit, but um fantastic. On a hit, you impress and convince. You get to pick two options, and there's no complication or hard choice, which is what the 7 and 9 would be.
Nice.
So you may
Mhm.
pick one option twice, but you got those three options there.
No, I
You
will
may
gain a bond with her and I will clear an element. That
you
is
get to clear another
amazing.
element. Oh my God.
Wow,
Yeah.
I'm almost good here. I think for this I might actually creativity or patience. Growth is not growth. I'm clearing fire. It's not a good element, but I want fire.
Absolutely.
And I gain a bond with what's her name? Onyx
Onyx
Viper.
Viper.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a particularly trustworthy name. However, my mother's woolen name was Foxglove, which is also a little
Right. Exactly.
sounding a little shady. My mother was nothing shady, would never be anyone shady at all, right? No,
Exactly.
no, no.
A
She would have
character.
told me
Yeah.
probably, maybe.
A character named Onyx Viper dressed all in black that you find randomly in on a mountain path somewhere, 110% trustworthy. Um,
Absolutely, absolutely. And she plays flute, the flute. What bad person could play the flute, right?
exactly. No villains play flutes or eat apples or drink wine and listen to piano music. Never happens.
No.
Anyways, so she says, if you're going back to the Nine Tails, I feel like maybe we'd be safer if we went together.
Um, if yes, if you how to phrase this, I don't want to insult her. Um, I am going to look for a friend, but I would be glad of the company on the walk.
And she like kind of tilts her head a little bit and goes, a friend?
Yes, I went there with my friend Jiang Hu. I don't know if you know him.
Jiang Hu, Jiang Hu. She turns her head and thinks for a moment. No, I don't know if I've ever heard of a Jiang Hu.
Oh, he's quite a good person to know.
Is he?
Yes, he is. If he is very, he's someone who makes someone's heart glad, and I appreciate him for that.
Her head again kind of like tilts at that turn of phrase you used. She goes, well, he sounds like a good friend to have.
Oh yes, he is. And I'm not saying 100 things that I could say no. And
No,
I
no,
don't, and I
absolutely.
won't, and
This
I
is
won't.
this
I
is
just
oblique
won't.
as fuck, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
Fantastic. So I think unless there's anything else you want to do here, then I
No.
think we see the two of you just sort of like um walking down these like sheer,
Mhm.
these absurdly steep and OSHA non-compliant steps back towards the town.
Don't think they have OSHA yet.
That's true. They don't have OSHA. They don't have OSHA here. Um fantastic. Cool. Um let's go ahead. It is the top of the hour. Seems like a good time to take a good little like a good 10-minute break. When we come back, I'm gonna meet back up with Jiang Hu. We have to span like 6 to 8 hours in order to get like these timelines to sort of like link back up. But I've got
Yeah.
we might do like one roll to sort of like speed the process of how this like meeting with Jiang Hu and Taishi Clan
Yeah.
goes. So yeah, we'll do that, come back, and then hopefully we'll see Red Crane and Jiang Hu come back together. But let's call it it's one past the hour, so let's call it like 13, 14, 15 past the hour. Be back. All right. So Jiang Hu, you are in the bar area, the quiet bar area
Mhm.
of the Nine Tails with Fading Glint and Taisha Shun. Um, how do these next few hours go? And by few, I mean like till sundown.
Yeah, yeah. I think it is. I think it's Taishi continuing to press her, and me continually being first acting and then being drunk and charming to kind of intercept that.
Sure.
And whether he's charmed by me or irritated by me, maybe the subject of a role.
I was gonna say this sounds like we can wrap this up
Yeah,
in like an impress roll.
yeah, or a hearts and minds even like.
Yeah.
Or no, I guess impress is right. Yeah,
Yeah. It
yeah,
sounds like, yeah. I think impress makes a little bit more sense because I don't think you're,
yeah.
unless there is something specific you are trying to get him to do. But I think if we're going
No,
to try and like roll this sort of like ball of scene into one roll, it sounds like you're trying to schmooze a little.
yeah. I'm just trying to play interference a little bit.
And also, I think the mechanics, the things you're risking
Mhm.
gaining or having trouble with, make a little bit more sense to the impress roll. So go ahead and pick a element and
Um, what would this be? I mean, maybe. I'm also looking like what the bad sides of things are that might be.
absolutely.
I think fire might actually be the best bet there. A little bit reckless.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Go ahead
Oh,
and
that is my good one. Cool. We'll do that.
yeah, sure is.
That's an 8.
An 8. Okay. So you do get to pick two. Um, I have an idea for your complication,
Mhm.
but I'm curious. I think you go ahead and pick your items. And again, you can pick one of them twice.
Hmm.
But it doesn't look like you have any elements to clear.
I don't. I think I'll definitely take a bond with Fading Glint.
Okay.
And I will take a favor
From Taishi
from
Shun.
Taishi Clan. Yeah.
I'll type his name out in chat just in case it
Yeah.
gets lost in scroll. Um,
It's racking up favors.
Absolutely. And yeah, we need to like put a section on your character sheet for the people who just the people who owe
I
you
know.
favors, right? Um, yeah, has a favor from, let's see. Oops. All right. It's a favor from Taishan. All
I
right.
think the relationship I'm gonna do for Fading Glint is grateful, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah, how I'll let you take the fiction. What exactly do you think makes her grateful towards you?
I think at some point, like during the evening or afternoon, like we exchange glances and she like excuses herself and slips away while I keep him occupied.
Yeah, and just to sort of like paint this relationship a little bit more clearly. I think this is also sort of I mentioned that your study role, I'd give you the sort of basic information out of response to that. He's courting her.
Yeah, yeah.
And in case it wasn't obvious by my narration, they're introducing him. He is very much not only like trying to woo her, but is already pretending like they are
Yeah.
married, in fact. And the way that he talks to her um definitely suggests that uh yeah, she's yeah, I don't need to go too much farther into that.
Yeah.
Um and like he puts his arm around her and like you just watch like her skin just like tighten.
Mhm.
And the complication that I think I'm going to give you is that somehow in this process of getting her to extricate herself, um, well, I have to give you like either a complication or a hard choice. Um, I want to involve Dancing Phoenix somehow. And the simple thing is like she comes in and sees you like sees the exchange of glances between you and Fading Glint.
Mhm.
Does that sound fun, or is there something else that you think might be more of a complication here?
That's fun. It feels a little light for a complication.
That's also fair.
Maybe she comes in. Wow. um, maybe Taishi.
Oh, I think I've got it.
Yeah, go.
If you want to make this a little bit harder,
Mhm.
um, she doesn't come in and watch this exchange. Dancing Phoenix gets dragged in
Mm.
by the Taisha goons from the other room because Red Crane left
Right.
in the middle of this bar scuffle and they saw all of you together. And without Red Crane there, they are going to drag her in and hold an impromptu kangaroo court about how uh how Dancing Phoenix was helping was helping Red Crane cheat at these gambling at this gambling situation because they still want heads.
Right.
And they've got to save face somehow, and they are absolutely going to hold a kangaroo court here in this bar and it doesn't, before there's even really much of a trial, a trial, quote unquote.
Mhm.
It's, they Taisha Yu, who you haven't had a chance to meet, Jiang Hu. So to introduce Taisha Yu, he is Shun's one of his sons, um, and uh, he's younger. He has his sleeves rolled up, so they're like at the perfect height on his arm to like highlight how big his biceps are. He's kind of a tank of a human being, but this is in stark contrast to his absolute baby face, which is clean shaved, and he looks like an 18-year-old like meets, I don't know, whatever this fantasy version of like Joe Rogan's body type, ideal body type is. And it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And he also has a bright red bump on his forehead that has not has not gone away. And if we want to make it even harder, the reason that this is a kangaroo court is because also included in this situation, like, you don't know how this happened, and you've been drinking, so like I'm willing to say there's like this sort of like fog and haze of like um uh, uh of like timeline events, but they
Mhm.
bring in dancing phoenix and like they're making all these accusations and things are a little weird and funky and you're like, huh, they're accusing her of cheating. Why is magistrate who here?
Why is Magistrate Who here?
Or sorry, not magistrate who, magistrate Han, magistrate Han, who we saw earlier.
Is
Um,
that the one that?
that Xue Xin, he was with Sky Daughter Zhao at the Yellow Lotus table. Yeah, the Yellow Lotus Brotherhood Security Bureau.
Right. Okay.
He's the guy that came in and was like just a total asshole.
Yep.
He's the regional authority.
Mhm.
And yeah, he comes in with this like very stern statesman like scowl, this like, I will not have cheating in and he launches into this whole stupid tirade about the moral upbringing of the city, um and uh and Taisha Shun says, yes, of course, this is the casino that entertained the seventh prince. He stayed here for a week. We have the imperial grace, and to think that we would be sullied by cheating in this establishment. And yeah, and judging by the way that these things work, they are about to throw Dancing Phoenix in prison.
Mm.
Now, I will say that you were able to get Fading Glint out of that space, so
Right.
she is out of the scene.
A few ways it can go. What is like what is Dancing Phoenix's reaction or demeanor when what is happening?
She's utterly defeated.
Mhm.
She is accepting that there's nothing she can say or do that will convince the magistrate. Uh, Actually, no. This kind of sounds like a study roll. Actually,
Okay.
Before I answer that, so strike what I just said because you might have different ideas.
Right.
Give me a study roll. Pick an element and go for it.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be wood, unfortunately.
Yeah, curiosity.
That's good. That's a 5.
A 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have bonds that you can burn to bring that up, or do you want to just like roll with a miss?
Let's go with the miss.
Sure. Fantastic. Let me take a look at your entanglements because maybe there's a way to make this really spicy.
Mhm.
Um, um, yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with I think I'm going to stick with what I had been responding to you with earlier. She's utterly defeated. Um, and this isn't the first time she's been falsely accused, or the Phoenix School of Medicine has been falsely accused of crimes, and she's already done time in prison. Um, and I think maybe that has something to do with his heartache. What is this heartache that you have with Dancing Phoenix?
I think I think I like professed my love for her, and she was like, "Nah," and I had to get out of town because that's that's not something that I do earnestly often, and that it was an earnest thing, and that was yeah too much.
Okay. Um, so yeah, I think she just accepts that there's nothing that she can do in this situation to convince Magistrate Han, or like this whole thing's for show.
Yeah, yeah.
They're gonna throw her in prison, and that's going to be the end of it. Um,
Who
and
is the
Magistrate Han even adds that like this isn't the first time that the Phoenix School of Medicine has been found leeching off of honest trades in this city to fund their silly anatomy school. And I'm going to write a letter to the Emperor to see that the Phoenix School of Medicine is shut down.
Hmm.
That's the situation you find yourself in.
Yeah,
I'll give you a little chance to react, but I do want to bring Red Crane in when we get a chance to.
yeah. And Taishi Yu is the son, the beefy guy.
Yes, Taishi is yeah, and he's here in this scene as well.
And did I see him downstairs?
You did, but you dipped when stuff started going down.
Um, so I think my immediate reaction is her cheating. No, no, no. That's not what I saw. This one here, the big guy, so clumsy at it. He was going from table to table, pocketing chips, moving cards around, distracting people. If anyone was, I don't know where he came from, but he obviously wandered in off the street just to take you guys to the cleaners.
Taisha, wait, just so we're clear, you are accusing
The son.
the son
Mhm.
of cheating. You're accusing the son of a gang member, of a
Yep.
gang leader, of cheating
Mhm.
to his father and the local magistrate.
Yep.
As long as we're clear with that.
Mhm.
Um, now here's the funny thing though. Hearts and Minds qualifies by saying when you pressure someone susceptible to your words, I don't think they're susceptible to your words.
I think the father might be if he owes me a favor.
Oh. Oh, okay. Now things get really interesting.
Maybe I can call in the favor and say, I'll prove it. Um, let's and like clearly playing up how drunk I am. Even I might be a little bit. Like let's let the gods decide. Me and him. Whoever loses, they get thrown in jail and leave her out of it. She's clearly incompetent medicine quack person who got her own things going on. But why would she bother cheating? Because why is she even here?
No, I like this. I love this. Taishi Shun looks at you, and he looks at the magistrate, and he looks at Dancing Phoenix, and yeah, he's gonna try and take control of the situation. So he sort of like rolls his neck a little bit, and he goes, "The gods do favor those of us with martial prowess, and it's been a way to decide guilt and innocence for generations." And he looks over the magistrate. I think it would be quite entertaining to see a storied hero from the Hu clan, like Jiang Hu here, fight against my son in the eyes of everyone in the world to prove the integrity of the Taishi clan. we should set something up and make sure that everyone here can see how honest a business is being run here. And we're going to sort of like do a little whirlwind montage. They're going to set up this situation, this duel in like, there's got to be some sort of like boxing arena or some, kind of situation going on here
on the top. Open
yeah, absolutely. Top deck exposed to like the heavens above.
Yeah.
The storm has cleared somehow. And but before, Taishi Clan pulls you aside and says, you have to throw the match.
Throw the match and go to prison?
We'll make sure you don't go to prison. We will make sure, nobody's gonna go to prison. But you see, I can't have my son get defeated in the ring. So I want you to put up a good fight. I want you to look good. We're going to make sure you look good. We're going to make sure you're going to look great. You're going to look fantastic. You're going to be like the perfect heel. And that's how it's going to be. We'll make a show. And I've already talked to the magistrate. We're going to, in the last second, we'll have you be pardoned. That's what's going to happen. That's my favor back to you. And then everybody wins. My family looks and is as full of integrity as we want our casino to be. You get to be the romantic cad, the heel. Oh, there will be men and women throwing themselves at your feet for how amazing you're going to look for being as cool. We're going to make sure that you look as cool as possible. By the way, we're going to have 3 dancing girls. They're going to have we're going to play an erhu when you come out. And we'll sing. I'll commission a song actually about this fight and about how amazing you were. You'll get the first stanza in it. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Red Crane, you're going to come in like I think just to kind of sort of skip ahead, I think Red Crane will come in like as the fighters are maybe like getting into the ring or like getting announced or something. Does that sound good, or do you want to make it on scene a little bit sooner?
I mean, I feel like this takes a little away from the victory I had earlier, actually, because I beat his ass in front of everybody.
You did. And so what's actually happening here is he has to restore his face is what's going on.
Yeah.
It's all your fault.
Yeah, it's my fault. Sure. So
sorry, I might not have made that clear. Yeah, they've lost significant face. The visible defeat of Jiang Hu is what the Taishi clan thinks will restore their honor in this situation. Does that all make sense?
Yeah,
sort of.
That makes sense. Yes, thank you for clarifying that. I think, if I come in and hear that Jiang Hu is going to fight this guy, I look at these people and say, "Why? This is absurd. This guy can't fight."
Yeah, and whoever you find to talk to, they go, "Yeah, the Taishi clan kung fu has never been." It's never been particularly.
I beat this guy earlier. It is not even a fair fight. He is not in his best. He's not in his best shape, and honestly, if he can beat me in his best shape,
well, yeah, I don't know.
It is a little ridiculous.
Oh, it's very ridiculous. Yeah.
Why is this even happening?
Well, I feel like if we're going to have a conversation like this, I need to get a character in here. We could just say it's no. I don't know if it's Dancing Phoenix. I don't know. Maybe we don't need to. But yeah, you find yourself talking with somebody here in the crowd, and they lay out the whole situation. They go, yeah, some Wulin hero earlier just absolutely throttled Taishi Yu, and now
Yeah, that was me.
you did that?
Yes, I did that.
What?
Yes, I did that. He accused me of cheating. I did not cheat.
Well,
I thought we had settled this thing.
well, I mean, these things are never settled. I mean, uh, I don't know why this person knows how the Wulin. They've got to be Wulin because they know how the Wulin world works. Um, okay, yeah, it is a character I'm gonna pull in Dawning Joy.
Oh, yeah.
Dawning Joy is I don't know if I have this like sect. Oh, I do actually. Dawning Joy um, is is from a strange sect in the Wulin world
Oh,
called the Eastern River Alliance.
okay.
What they are known for is not actually participating in fights themselves. They are notoriously neutral in all
Okay.
conflicts. They are, in short, they are record keepers. They are
Hmm.
people who tell stories about big famous Wulin fights. They actually have a list of the top 50, like
Oh,
everything. Like the
wow.
Ford, like how the Forbes 500 is a thing. They have a Wulin. They have a Wulin list for like the top 50 philosophers in the world, the top 50 fighters in the world, the top 50 doctors in the world. They
Oh,
have these stupid lists for everything.
okay.
Um, and so this person here, this Dawning Joy, you see her with this little like she's like, oh, she's the Wulin world's equivalent of a reporter, a journalist,
Oh,
right?
okay.
And so she has this like brush, and like she normally holds it in her mouth.
Hmm.
She like holds it in her teeth. But and she's like occasionally like writing and taking. She goes, "That was you beat up
Yeah.
Taishi Yu," and like she instantly like scribbles it down like on her notepad.
I,
Um,
I, I mean, as I said, he accused me of cheating, and when I told him that I did not cheat and asked him to apologize, he would not. So it came to a little altercation, which did not go so well for him, which is not a surprise he can't find.
and you see Dawning Joy write
But I'm
down
not
on
very quiet about this whole thing.
yeah, you see Dawning Joy write down Red Crane claims to not be cheater despite appearances.
Excuse me? Um, what did
And
you just write down?
she looks down at what she wrote, looks up, draws the invisible line between your eyes and her notepad, and she like squeezes it to her chest. Oh, I'm just
Do you mean despite appearances?
well, I'm just saying that you have a certain, and she like waves her hand kind of in front of your face, a certain roguish appeal is all.
Like flabbergasted. I have never heard that. I pull up my glasses. I'm wearing glasses. I have never heard that.
Oh,
I I'm
glasses are very in vogue right now.
I am uncertain if I have been insulted or complimented. However, I am not a cheater.
No, I wrote down.
You wrote down something to the effect that you were uncertain if my word was good enough.
Well, I wasn't there, so I will write down
And
that
you will
you.
take the word of these people over mine. That
I
is what you give me to understand.
I'm not taking anybody's word or side. I'm just saying you said you didn't cheat, Taisha. They are accusing you of cheating,
Yes.
and I uh uh and I and a brawl came of it, and you defeated Taisha Yu. And
Yes.
now, of course, they want their face back. So Taisha Yu, don't you see? Taisha Yu has to defeat Jiang Hu in the ring, or people are going to start making fun of the Taisha clan, and they can't have that here. They'll lose all of the power they're set out to gain.
Then he should, maybe there is another way. He has a father, he has a parent. Maybe the parent should discipline his overzealous son. Would not that be the right way? Instead of
Oh,
indulging him with this foolery?
oh, you have, I mean, uh, yeah, if that would certainly be a way to do it, but I don't think you're going to convince Taishi Shun to humiliate his son a second time. Uh,
And he
uh,
should not have started this foolery.
well, they did. And now,
Yes, I'm afraid so. And now I don't have any choice because that is my friend over there and he appears to be quite drunk.
oh, wait, that's your friend? And
Oh,
she points
yes.
over at Jiang Hu, and she takes out her notebook and writes down in her notes, Red Crane is friends with Jiang Hu. Is it are you friends, or are you she gets up like really close to you. Oh, and oh my god, this whole time I forgot Onyx Viper is here as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um
She's probably laughing her
she's
ass.
been,
She's probably
yeah.
laughing her ass off.
Yeah, she's hanging back politely.
Yeah.
But I think
Thank you.
this whole exchange is making her kind of giggle a little bit. But yeah,
Yeah.
Dawning Joy like sidles up really close to you, and she's got her pen ready to write. She goes, "Are you guys friends, or are you friends, or?"
Looking at her, I'm saying, we are friends. Make of that what you want.
Red Crane and Jiang Hu are friends. And you are, and so are you going to go and like defend
Yes.
him? Are you going
No,
to?
I'm going to talk to him as a reasonable person might talk to another to end this foolishness.
Okay, good luck with that.
Thank you. Oh,
And
oh,
who are you? And she looks over at Onyx Viper. Onyx Viper introduces herself, and Onyx Viper says, "We're friends." And Dawning Joy sidles up to Onyx Viper and goes, "So are you and Red Crane friends, or are you friends?"
I am leaving this conversation.
She's not a reporter, she's just a gossip.
Gossip columnist.
She just goes around. She has like a giant
Yeah.
board that's
Yeah.
like a relationship tracker.
Yeah. Oh my God.
She like takes out a paper that just like goes on endlessly.
I've known Dawning
Okay.
Joy for 30 seconds, and I love her.
Yeah, I love her too. She's great. Yeah.
When
When Onyx Viper says to me, good luck, I remember something. I think I will go over to Jiang Hu and talk to him before confronting anyone.
Sure,
Because luck is not my strong suit. I forgot for 10 seconds.
Jiang Hu, you were given a complimentary, dinner wine for, your trouble in this whole thing. Part of, Taishi Shin knows that you're going to throw this fight for him and his family, and he wants to thank you for that. So you are given this like amazing meal. Let's paint the meal. What food and or beverage or what else other elements to this dinner, and everybody can chime in, do we know that one, like Taisha Shun has money, and also is willing to pull out all of the stops to try, and how do we know that this dinner is trying to impress Jiang Hu?
I think it's something, it's food that is not available in the region, or even maybe it's not common or known. I mean, maybe even, no, yeah, I don't know what would be appropriate for
maybe plums don't grow here, and
Yeah.
it's like stewed plums, or plums are out of season or something,
Mm.
you know.
I
Yeah.
also
Um,
Just
think,
something exotic.
yeah, I also think the alcohol is just much stronger than you would usually get.
Mhm.
This has two purposes, obviously. A,
Obviously.
to impress you. B, I mean,
I mean, we know it's coming, but we're working towards it. Give
Yep.
me a second, let me cook. Um,
I mean, yeah, I wanted to complicate your life, and I was like, I mean, listen, they drugged your food, my man.
I would listen, I'm getting there.
yeah.
I think there is like
Spoilers.
just a giant array of like sweets and
Mm,
like freshly baked. Like they literally like maybe we see a scene of like someone like resting and like getting hoisted up and they're like ha woke up the person to like make you fresh stuff. Like maybe it's like still a little bit warm and everything.
Here's
nice.
a question. What is Jiang Hu's favorite food or wine?
Ooh. I think the wine is whatever's free. Favorite food is some sort of like sweet buns, probably.
Yeah, so definitely like just a plate of these like sweet buns there as well.
And the
Dude,
fruits are like arrayed in like your family's like crest or
Yeah.
or like coat of arms.
Yeah.
absolutely. I love it.
Oh,
They're like
wow.
110%.
custom made Jiang Hu sweet buns.
Okay.
Jiang Hu's sweet buns.
Mhm.
Well, fantastic. So I mean, this raises the inevitable question, Jiang Hu, do you
Mhm. Of
indulge?
course. Yeah.
Then this
Absolutely.
is 110% going to be an overcome roll. Because I like poison is a strong term. They put some muscle relaxants in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
They just want you to be a little
Relaxed.
relaxed during
Yeah.
the fight.
Let's see. I'm am I overcoming
Actually, yeah, would it
noticing
be
that it's
overcome or would it be you're not I don't think you're impressing yet.
yeah. Feels
Um
like so would the overcome be me noticing what was drugged and not doing it or overcoming the effect of
oh,
being drugged?
interesting
I
question.
mean, noticing is usually study, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
let's say it's like withstanding the effects of whatever it is then.
yeah, my the way that I was coming into this was that like you are trying to literally overcome the poison as it goes through your veins, and basically what's at risk here is on a miss you're going to go down in scale
Hmm.
versus
Mm.
Taishi Ye, which will actually, I think, well, scale is not an objective number, it's versus people.
Right.
So yeah, a pretty severe poison, I might put you like below Taisha Yu's scale. A
Mhm.
success with a complication might be I put you on equal scale. So the fight is like not actually, it's because normally I think you'd be above Taisha Yu's
Yeah.
scale. Because I think we've kind of established that he
Mm.
is he is bumbling. He's kind of a cad.
Mhm.
So I think that's what I was kind of looking at
Yeah.
here. Do you have any better suggestions though as to
I
like
think that's great. Yeah.
the other thing we could do is we could study, and you could notice the poison before you consume it, or like as you begin consuming it, like taste something off
Yeah, that
on
doesn't
a.
feel very Jiang Hu.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
um, I think overcome with metal then is probably going to be
sure.
it. So let's see how that goes. That's a 7.
Okay, 7. So you succeed. There's a complication.
Mhm.
I'll let you pick. You can.
Ooh. Mm.
Oh,
No,
And
yeah, you
I
go
was
first.
going to say you can mark an element or wounded, your choice.
Ooh.
Or, well, I mean, you can always mark wounded, instead of marking an element. Um, if you mark an element, I will say that you are still above. That just doesn't feel like much of a complication.
Mm.
Um, 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 um. Yeah, let's just say you can mark an element and Taishi Yu will still be below your scale,
Hmm.
or you can go in clear of elements, but Taishi Yu will be equal scale to you. So there is a chance you could actually lose this fight.
I'll go ahead and mark metal. I think
Okay,
I
cool.
used. Yeah.
Fantastic. I think that'll just keep the speed moving along because we, like I said, the poison is so it's so tropish,
Hmm.
and we all knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I think like you feel this poison and like it's really gotten into your veins. You just kind of like you shrug it off. You're Jiang Hu, like
Yeah.
you
It's just
poison
like being
is
drunk but
nothing to
different.
you,
Yeah.
right? You just drink more wine and that dilutes it, right? That's how it works. Fantastic. Um, cool. I if nobody minds, I kind of want to pivot over to Xue Xin because we just haven't seen her in a
Uh,
while. And then when we come
yeah.
back, we'll do the fight. Sound good?
I would like to get to Jiang Hu before this
Okay,
fight
yeah,
even
let's do that
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
starts.
Let's do that then. Yeah, go for it. So yeah, Red Crane, you
Oh,
come to
oh,
you come
you
to
can do Zhen not for now, and then I go up to him, and then we see where the fight thing goes,
okay,
right?
yeah. Yeah, Tuition. So yeah, you've developed this new technique. I think that takes some time. But like as you kind of come out of this montage with your new what do you call it, lightning step,
Lightning leap.
lightning leap, as you come out with this new lightning leap, like as you like realize you've mastered it, you've got it down. We had that moment with Jade Wind and you, and like uh it's just at that moment where you see like three townspeople, these three gossiping, Nancy's just like going down the street, like, Jiang Hu's going to be fighting Taishi Yu over at the Nine Tails. It's going to be great. It's the best. It's the biggest fight we've seen.
I think Xue Xin just rolls her eyes, but I assume that Jade Wind is gonna be like, "Oh wait, my brother's gonna fight someone."
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and
yeah.
she might probably have like context for the name, but not that he's not actually a good fighter, so she might be like legit worried about this.
What is the Taisha's reputation in the Wulin world?
I mean, given that they own like all these casinos and so much money, it's probably just not a good sign if you're fighting them, right?
I mean, yeah, I think the majority of their power comes in a collectivism more than like the
Hmm.
power of their individual combat technique. In
Hmm.
fact, talking about Dawning Joy and this Eastern River Alliance, the Taisha clan, nobody on the Taisha clan is on the top 50 Wulin fighters. The Taisha, whatever their family school is it is not impressive. But
Hmm.
they control monetarily a lot of power. So there's that.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I think if Shueishin sort of sees Jadewind maybe being wildly worried, I think she'll roll her eyes and just, without even a word, but like start to make her way back.
sure. Then I think we can just kind of like have everybody there. But let's go ahead and focus on Red Crane. You come up to Jiang Hu as Jiang Hu is finishing this glorious meal with whose sweet buns. There might even be one left for you.
Yeah. Care for a poison drug
No,
one?
no, thank you. No, I hear that you have been pressured into fighting this fool over there, and I'm not very quiet when I say this.
Not pressure. I pressured him.
Oh, I mean, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it is the wrong message to um, reward this fool with another fight when he has already had his fight and been thoroughly schooled. I think the correct course here would be for the father to take his son and get him a better teacher.
Maybe the father needs a better teacher.
Yes, I apologize. This all seems to be my fault.
Well, I'll make it up to you.
Um, I can talk to this I point to the patriarch and tell him that, well, my opinion, I guess.
Hmm. You can express your opinion by betting on me, and you're going to make so much money.
Um, Jiang Hu, I never win a bet when it would be actually a good thing. You know this.
This
You
is the
know
way
this.
we're going to change your luck. They'll see.
Yes, Jiang Hu, this will not work.
Just a
I
tiny
maybe
bit.
no.
Just a shiver.
But however, I have met this lovely lady over here,
Mm.
and I will point to what's her name again? Dawning Joy or something like
Dawning
that.
Joy is the reporter slash
Yeah,
gossip
that's the
columnist.
one who I was looking for because that seems like a person who would be right up Jiang Hu's alley. I will introduce you to this person who will make a bet and who has luck. One thing before you go and do this, where is Bitter Crane? You said you met him. Where is he? Where did you meet him?
It was the fight at the place
Yeah,
with
it was the Yellow Lotus Security Bureau.
the Lotus thing. You know,
Yes, I know.
it
What
was a fight.
was this when you met? And I lower my voice when you met your brother. Was he with him?
I think I like dropped the drunk act for a moment. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, what's your business with him?
He was my
Why you called me
teacher.
here?
He's my mentor. I, if there is a chance that he's not dead. I mean, I don't really remember what happened at the monastery. I know
And
he.
just to remind, did he have the
Yes.
yeah, yeah, I think your mentor has been changed or afflicted by whatever. My brother was. Maybe you can save them, but I certainly can't.
Huh, I probably can't either.
Well, let's change your luck, and then we will try.
Yes, let's maybe not try that because that might be just a step too far.
No.
You go, you have all the luck, and look over there. This is Drawing Joy. Hey, Drawing Joy, come over here, come over here.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Mr. Jiang Hu. She goes stiff and like bows like very sort of cuckoo clock like robotic sort of movements.
Mhm.
And I
Um,
try to move away from that situation with her and try to find Dancing Phoenix for once because she's also in this situation because right now I am thinking, because I haven't heard anything about what her situation, so I'm thinking if he's in this situation, who knows where she ended up because he probably didn't watch or which he should have had, but he didn't probably.
sure. We haven't located Dancing Phoenix in a while.
She slipped away, or no, I was paying slipped away.
Yeah, but things happen and things get confusing.
I think if we want to roll one of my not successes in, maybe like the father has her like as collateral, kind of.
That's what I was
That
thinking as well.
I will tell you that that will escalate the situation.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm just
are we not
saying.
here to escalate?
Okay,
Um,
okay, okay,
uh, um, well,
okay.
actually, I was gonna say like leave it to a study roll, and if it was a miss, then definitely it
Mm,
would be that
okay.
situation. But I
Mm.
kind of do like it's been a hot second since I've really like kind of turned the screws and tightened things a little bit. So yeah, I think actually let's leave it to a study roll, and depending on the
Yeah,
success of the roll
okay.
will be like if it's a higher success, then the basic information is going to be that she is being watched and monitored and she can't leave the Nine Tails. If it is a worse situation, she's like
Okay.
in a sort of makeshift brig. How does that sound?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So are you just going to go around and like ask people like, have you seen Dancing
Yes,
Phoenix?
of course I
Sure.
will. I have no idea why I shouldn't.
Absolutely. No, I'm just, setting the fiction of like how you are going about doing this thing.
Yeah.
Pick
Yeah,
an
I'm not.
element and roll.
I think I feel very, this is not passion because this is more duty than anything else. So I think I will go with, what will I go with? I think I will go with wood. It feels like a wood thing.
Yeah, curiosity, development.
Okay, let's see how that goes. Oh, it's a 6. It's
That'll
a
be a
miss.
miss. So,
I mean, I
um,
could draw in one of my bonds though to
you
change
could.
that to a partial. Can I hear what would happen on a miss before I decide if I want to draw in the bond?
I like letting players make informed decisions. So I think
Mhm.
absolutely. I think
Cool.
if we decide to roll with the miss, um, well, let's figure it out together. But yeah, I'm willing to talk about that before you decide to burn a bond. I did say that like she was going to be in a decidedly perilous situation. We haven't had any inner conflict rolls, so I'm really wondering if there's a way that we can like
Mm.
You're right.
um but seeing as Bitter Claw is supernatural and Xue Xin is not currently on set,
Yeah.
is getting there, but um,
Yeah, no, I think the thing is if she is imprisoned or if getting her out of the situation would require a lot of effort. I have so many other things on my plate. This would be an inner conflict
I mean,
role.
maybe the father is like there at the fight, and like he or the bodyguards like
Yeah.
have her
Have her,
dead.
have her.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, as a
We'll just
prisoner,
do we'll just do like
as a
a
hostage or something. Yeah, I like that.
I started this game saying Dancing
I
Phoenix is not going to be a damsel in distress, and we're just going full slave Leia with her. Why not?
Yeah, I
The
mean, she could try to fight this. She's a woman herself. I
Yeah.
mean,
she's a Wulin.
so yeah,
Uh,
it's fine if she isn't. Probably she maybe she has a nefarious plan of her own. Who knows?
Actually,
Who knows what her ulterior motives are here?
I have an idea. I'm not gonna. So yes, your basic information is going to be that so far as you know, she is being held below decks by some of the Taishi clan just goons.
Mm.
Um, I'm going to save my hard move.
Okay. I think it's still an inner conflict because do I want to go rescue her? Do I want to find Bitter Claw? Do I want to find out how to rescue Shushin? Do I need to rescue Jiang Hu? Who should I protect? There are too many people.
If you're going to roll inner conflict, I kind of
Yeah,
want to know
yeah,
what the stakes
yeah,
for
me
success
too.
and failure are going
Me
to be.
too.
Um,
I think in this situation, because Jiang Hu is on the path to get her free, right? Which I don't probably know. So the success would rather be that I trust in Jiang Hu.
and on a miss, then you would go
And on a miss, I would forego and fuck this
and
this Taishi asshole up.
yeah,
And on a
you're gonna go John Wick and below decks, right?
yeah,
All right,
yes,
yeah,
yeah,
fantastic.
yep,
Yeah, go ahead and pick an
yep,
element that is not your style element
yep.
and roll. Um,
Um, I
Shuish.
I think I will pick fire for this because this is about passion.
God, I hope this is a miss. I need this to be a miss. Please, dice
Yeah,
miss.
yeah,
Also, don't forget to roll mark XP after or
yeah.
before or after the roll. For rolling inner conflict.
Yeah, okay, okay. Let me pick dice, and I can only
Okay.
get myself plus one. Can I get myself minus one? Yes, I can.
You can, yeah,
Neat.
with which dice.
Neat. It's a 3. It's a 3. It's a total
This is
miss.
amazing.
Fantastic.
Cool. So yeah, I think we're gonna see Red Crane like during this fight, however it shakes out. We're just gonna see Red Crane slip into the shadows
Yeah,
and yeah, we'll
yeah,
come back to you.
yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll meet Chushan, or maybe she'll see me slip
Maybe. Yeah, actually, just because I like involving other characters. I think Xue Xin, you come on scene, like you and Jade Wind come on scene, and like we said, this fight is taking place on the top deck, exposed to open air. They've set up a raised dais, uh, but there's also like bleachers, stands on like each side of it towards the front of the ship and the back of the ship, so people can like kind of like look down on it, um, but yeah, we've got Jiang Hu on one side, we've got Taishi on the other side, and this is sort of the scene you come onto. But I
Mhm.
think if since this was your suggestion, Red Crane, I think you can actually like spy Red Crane slipping down to the stairs that will take them below decks. But there's a fight about to get started here.
Yeah. I want to set up Jiang Hu for one of his inner conflicts.
Oh.
Because you have a conflict that like Jade Wind is my student.
Mhm.
And you feel some type of way about that because like I'm, the enemy clan. So I'm thinking, if you don't feel like this is gonna work, then I want to stay because I want to interact with Changhu a little bit, but I do want to set this up. So I was thinking if I see Red Crane go, maybe you see like me and Jade Wind basically like do something super shady, right? Because you don't
Mhm.
have the context and you see me like having your sibling with me looking like I think because I've been training so much, like maybe even very vaguely you can see like some sort of like not maybe the corruption, but like I look evil,
Yeah, yeah.
basically, right?
Love it.
And I was wondering if seeing that happen like right before your fight, if that might trigger your inner conflict to be like,
Yeah.
wait, should I maybe deal with that before or get like distracted or something?
Yeah, I'm for that.
Cool. So just so I'm clear, is it that Jiang Hu sees Xue Xin or sees Jade Wind?
I think seeing Jade Wind with Xue
Yeah,
Okay,
Xin.
yeah, seeing
seeing
seeing the
both
two
of
of
us
them
and
like
seeing me basically like lead her into doing something that looks very shady.
Mm.
yeah, or even just like standing there, very Sith master and apprentice style that like makes it very
Yeah,
clear
because
what
I
the
assume
relationship
that
is.
Jade Wind is maybe like still sort of tugging my ear off and being like super impressed given what we just did.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I feel like that's gonna be a fire roll to like like that's
Love it.
a big passionate thing. So let's see what that looks like.
What's the outcome? What's the if you have a success, are you staying or running off?
I think I'm staying. I'm like,
Okay, cool.
If on a miss,
I don't know.
you're gonna get distracted, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna raise Taisha Yu's scale for this fight.
Yeah. Fortunately, it's an 11.
Ah, it is an 11. So you don't even need to mark an element. So
I just like clock it like one more thing on the list. Okay, let's
I still think just for like the benefit of like the TV version of this, like I think what we see, you've seen the Sherlock fight where the
Mm.
discombobulate, right? So the thing that happens right before that fight actually like happens in earnest is he gets clocked, right? Winds up like drooling on the ground for a second. And so I think what happens actually like early on in this fight, as like the poison is like getting its way through your system, you go and like try and block a shot, and Taishi you just like right across the jaw, and like you do the 360 spin,
Right.
land on the ground, and it's like from that perspective, from that like sideways
Oh,
perspective, is where you
yeah.
see Xue Xin and Jade Wind.
Yep.
But in the same way that like Sherlock was able to just like recover from that and then beat this dude's ass, like for whatever reason this hit is not debilitating. um but yeah, I'll
Not
let you take.
success enemy.
Yeah, so we're not moving into duel just yet, but like what is your reaction here, and how do you like put it, like what does putting it out of your brain look like, or how do you put it out of your mind and get back into this fight?
I think it I think that's actually what like brings me into focus. Like he's kind of like knocked me some. I see that I'm like, okay, I've got to beat this guy and get this thing and then get down there. Like now I have a goal. And before it was just like, I'm just fucking around. we're gonna humiliate this guy and have a good time, but not like, oh, now I've got a goal and I've got to get this taken care of.
Um, yeah. Okay. I'm willing to let that roll. Yes. Yeah, Jiang Hu, you're supposed to lose. So that raises the next question. Are you going to throw this fight as was suggested? Of
Absolutely
course
not.
not. Yeah,
No.
I never believed for a second that you would. So I guess I'm fine to move straight into the dual role unless there's
Yeah.
something, Xue Xin, you want to do like as this fight is going on.
Um, I feel a little like what information does Xue Xin have? Because if it's just a fight and I don't think that she cares, like, fine. Like, I think she'll let maybe like Jade Win watch if they want to. They don't have to come with her.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe
Um,
it's like, look how stupid your house style is.
yeah, she'll basically like, she'll tell her something like, like, observe from his mistakes or
Yeah.
something, right? And then like give me a list of like moves that I would have done or like that my style would have like
Yeah.
blocked or something, right?
Yeah, I'll give you a couple options here, but I would like to get some dice on the table just so I'm a little transparent about that. If you want to study the situation to like either learn more about the Taisha family style, and I might throw in a little extra information about some of the other NPCs and like sort of bring you into that fold. We can go with a study roll if you just want to sort of like observe the situation. If you want to try and get Jade Wind and like make this a teaching moment, I feel like that would be, it almost sounds like a hearts and minds because when you pressure someone susceptible to your words, and in this case, you want Jade Wind to pay attention and like learn something from this fight, right? So
Mhm.
that kind of sounds like with what you were talking about.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that, and then I think after that, I'll go follow Red Crane, but I'm gonna try to do it in a way where Red Crane doesn't see me. Because I'm basically like
Fantastic.
in the
Yeah.
mode of like you are my enemy now, so I need to study you and I need to like know what the fuck you're up to. And you're not staying with Jiang Hu. That's very suspicious. I thought you were close. So yeah, I'll do basically this moment to get Jade Wind to teach her and to get her concentrated here, and then I'll try to sneak and do some sneaky stuff. Um,
Fantastic.
yeah, I will roll with, let's see. Earth seems fair. Caution, focus, presence. I'm telling her, focus on how much your brother sucks and how much better I am.
Love it. Roll it.
The dice love Xue Xin and Jade Wind. It's boxcars.
Nice.
So plus Earth, that is a 14.
Okay. On a hearts and minds, on a 10 plus, they bow to your words and do what you want. Um, yeah, I don't really know what mechanical reflection this will be. Maybe Jade Wind gets a little stronger or something, or actually maybe Jade Wind comes. I don't know how Jade Wind can respect you any more than they do. They already like kowtowed to you earlier in this exact same
I
episode.
ascend into godhood solely
Yeah, do you
by Jade Wind's belief.
yeah, do you have an idea of what this looks like? Um,
The only thing that I can think of is sort of making this entanglement from Chang-Hu even worse, which
Yeah.
is like after the fight, Jade Wind's gonna tell him about it. And
Well,
she's basically like fully gonna be like, oh my God, my teacher. And yeah, you did like do this
no,
move, and Xue Xin would have done that, and that's like
no.
so much better. And she's like in like a very enthusiastic way, is like fully gonna bash your house style,
I
right?
and even
love that.
worse, she feels the need to fight me to prove it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
I am
Yeah.
so here for this. So yes, Jade
Yeah.
Wind. I mean,
Let's do that. I love it. Um,
fights Jiang Hu. Fantastic. We're going to set that scene up a little bit later. Jiang Hu, let's get this duel roll on the table. You are above Taishi Yu's scale because he is awful at this.
And I'm rolling with water.
You were rolling with your style element, which I believe, yes, is water. Yes.
Right. Let's see how much the dice like me. A 7. That'll do.
A 7. So let's review that text. If the scale is same as your foes, on a 7 to 9, choose one. You can mark an element of your choice. Doesn't have to be your.
The scale is not the same though.
I'm higher.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Your scale is higher than your foes. On a hit, you win the conflict. Describe your awesomeness. So there you go. Yeah. Have we seen Beggar's Drum yet, or do you?
Just a little bit. Yeah.
Well, then, yeah. Feel free to let us know how cool this style is.
Yeah. And I think because he sucks so much, and if I can add a cost in there myself, for the 7 to 9. Because I'm not letting him go. I'm going to finish him with a cost. I think after I get up, he starts. What does his style look like?
That's right. You didn't get a chance to actually see him. He fights with what's called a 3-section staff. So think of a nunchuck with like 3, and they're like slightly longer. And, I've described him as we've kind of established that he's a bit of an oaf. And so I think like the big criticism of things like nunchucks and 3-section staves is they're pretty, but like martially kind of not great. And so like I think he does this like really cool show off. Like it's the Indiana Jones, the guy doing like just sword spins and stuff, and like he looks cool, and like he's spinning this staff, and like he makes it look so cool, and the audience is just like, oh my god, Taishi Yu, oh my god, he's so strong. If any of you clip that and use it against me, I will find you.
Clip it.
So I think what it looks like is, he does that thing. And like, as he like finishes up, like, okay, I did my thing and here's my pose. I just rush up to him. And like my style is the cloth and fan. So I have these like long silks, and basically just like throw them out and kind of like roll around him. And so he gets like cocooned a little bit, and then pull him like a top, and he just goes over the edge.
Amazing.
Like real quick, real dumb. And first off, what's his father's reaction?
His father's reaction is not good. His father, like, the crowd, first of all, the crowd thinks this is awesome. The political ramifications of Taishi Yu's defeat are beyond the complexities of the crowd at the moment. Taishi Clan stands up and like is like red faced, like totally outraged, like, and it's flabbergasted because he did not think that this is how this was going to go.
And I'll like meet his gaze and just be like, now you.
And and he's looking around, and he's panicked, and
I'll even say like, your son was no match, so maybe I can teach you a lesson as well.
And then the crowd parts, and Jade Wind steps into the ring.
Fantastic.
We cut away really quickly to Xue Xin. You wanted to roll inner conflict to see if or in what form you would be following Red Crane. I love that idea. Go ahead and pick your element.
And I think it's especially with like what you say now, because I don't think that it was Xue Xin's intent to set them up, like to set Jade Wind up against her brother. So I think there is like a moment where she's like, oh shit, this is gonna make my life so much more difficult. But also Red Crane. So she does have that moment of sort of thinking what to do. So yeah, I think the miss here, let's see. I think the miss here is that I follow Red Crane in basically like blind vengeance. And like I want to like Batman drop you at some point. Or I want to like do something that's gonna have some and of course we'll work out what that is, right? But like that is her intent.
I
Uh
actually have a reaction on deck if you miss.
okay.
So I'm gonna be a little cagey about that.
Okay.
So
Why don't you go ahead and be cagey?
I'll be cagey about that. But you can go ahead and pick an element that is not your style element and roll.
I will I mean, you made me curious now, so we're going with wood again, which is the -1 that has never, ever done anything bad.
I mean, we've already had a 3 on the table. There's no way it could give you like snake eyes or anything.
Oh,
The dice are gonna spite me. I see it coming. You're gonna get like a
well,
10.
it's a 4 total, -1 for a 3.
Okay, cool. So that's a miss. Don't forget to mark XP uh for rolling inner conflict. And yeah, Red Crane, you go down below decks. I don't think it's difficult to find like whatever they're using as a brig. There's just one problem. The door between you and that is locked. And as you like go and like get up to this door, you go to turn the knob or do whatever it takes to open, and it like it's not
No,
just
I'm,
locked.
I'm not
Oh, I sorry. I thought
playing
you were going.
around. I'm John Wicking this. I'm kicking the door in.
Cool, great. I'm not actually going to even make you make a roll for that.
Thank you.
But when you kick the door in, you see that the goons, the Taisha goons, are dead.
Oh,
Not only are they dead, carnage happened down here.
huh.
There are red streaks along the walls. This was this was a massacre. I mean, technically that means there were more than a few dead bodies, but this was not kind or clean. And this there is one door open. There are a few like little like cells, like little yeah, like they'd be little bedrooms or cabins for people to sleep in, but they're being used as like brig rooms.
Mhm.
But there's one open and
Yeah.
there's moonlight shining into it at the far end of the hallway. And as you step into this hallway where these dead bodies are, your breath becomes visible.
Okay. Well, okay. That seems right up my alley. For a moment, I thought had been Dancing Phoenix because she was fed up, or it was whatever her scheme was, or maybe it still is. Who knows? I tend to fall in love with, or to fall in with women. Anyway, I will not debate my romantic choices right now. I will go and see what's going on.
Sure, fantastic. Down at the end of the hallway, the one door that is left open, the hull, the side of the ship itself has been ripped out. Somebody like just smashed an entire hole in the side of the hull. Um,
Whoa.
and the only evidence that Dancing Phoenix was in this room, there's something left of her there. What is it?
I think it is, what is it? I think it's some kind of it's a glove. Yes, it is a glove.
One of her gloves is
Yes.
just a TV show perfectly lying in the
Mm,
middle of the floor, like in this moonbeam.
damn it. Mm, mm. Cursing doesn't help. I haven't I
Go.
haven't even, and I was saying this aloud, I haven't even been here for 2 days. Usually my luck doesn't turn bad until the fifth day. What? Why is this happening? And I think Xu Xin can hear that, because I think nobody's here to hear that. I wouldn't say that otherwise. But yeah.
So Xue Xin, you were rolling inner conflict because you didn't know if you wanted to pursue Red Crane or not, correct?
Yeah, I think it's basically, do I let vengeance take over, or do I care enough about Jadewind to make sure that she doesn't overdo it and damage her brother, their relationship with their brother beyond the extent that we want to.
Um, yeah, and so I think we see you like running down the stairs, going below decks after Red Crane. Red Crane is in the room that where she's like holding on to this glove, and
He's
and
and
as
I don't think he's picked it up.
or sorry, where the glove is found.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
And as you step into this hallway, you feel your blood turn to ice. Do you proceed farther in? You know this feeling. It's been 12 years. She's here.
Yeah, because nobody gets to kill her but me.
You take a few more steps down the hallway. Clouds pass over the moon. Red Crane, I don't think this means anything to you, but for a moment, that moonbeam that's coming in from the side of the ship where the hole is gets cut off. Everything goes very, very, very dark for a second. And then the clouds pass. Xue Xin behind you in the doorway, going towards the stairs leading back up above decks, is a woman wearing a mask that you are very familiar with. For all you know, it's Princess Invincible.
And I see
Jiang,
her, right?
yeah, you can if
Okay.
you're down at the end of
Mhm.
the hallway,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You see Xue Xin, and behind her is uh I don't know if I mean Princess Invincible has a reputation. I think her
Yeah.
mask has been described, but
Yeah.
so you would know who it is pretending to be at least. Um,
Well, I mean, she
oh, and
killed off Princess Invincible was the one who killed off the
the oh,
black
that's right, yeah,
the
the
Lotus guys, and also who probably had these undead people in their retinue. I'm pretty sure she's not a good person, or whoever that is not a good person.
yeah.
Let's say it like that. So I see Shui Shin. I will not question what she's doing here. I will, and the masked figure is behind her, right?
Yeah, so in order, it is you towards the
Yeah.
towards one end, Tuition in the middle, and Princess Invincible towards the stairs that you all came from.
Yeah, and I will rather instinctively throw a glyph in Shushan's direction. I am actually not throwing it at her, but I'm throwing it in her direction. I'm throwing it at in, and I will call out behind you. But I don't know if you see the glyph being thrown or drawn and thrown and react, because that's how I do the thing last time, right?
Almost feel like this needs to be inner conflict again to not defend myself against Red Crane, thinking that you're attacking me, but I don't know if that's getting too complicated.
Yeah. What effect are you hoping to accomplish with this glyph, Red Crane? Are you hoping to banish the spirit of
Yeah,
Princess Invincible?
I think, yeah, I don't know. I'm just hope that if that is an evil thing, I hope that I can stay her.
Mm-hmm,
Also,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I know that my glyphs are very noticeable, and maybe I still think of Tujen as a friend, as an ally as well. Anyway, so I think that she will realize when I throw this glyph that I won't be throwing it at her. I don't know why I think that. That doesn't even make a lot of sense, but I think that.
Sure. I think actually Exorcist can apply here.
Yeah,
When you create a barrier to expel or
yeah.
bar a supernatural spirit roll, if the spirit is of higher scale, which she is,
Yes,
you
I,
automatically mark an
I
element.
will mark an element. And I mark passion, not because it's my worst element, but because this is what I'm feeling right now.
And also, the like I mentioned, this ambient like icy air is just draining your fire chi.
Yeah,
Like
that's also fair. And
uh,
I don't know if she means me or Shujin harm,
exactly. Yeah.
but
All of
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah. I'm trying to bury bar her path
Yeah. Go
just so that
ahead.
she can't get to Shujin for
Go
now.
ahead and do your roll.
I will
Um
roll that with Earth, I think. Focus. Because I
focus.
really need to focus now. That's one. That's a 9.
A
Um,
9. Okay.
if you
On
have an awareness
a
complication,
yeah, on a
but
Can I support if you want me to?
yeah,
yeah, you can
yeah,
comfort.
please,
Well,
please,
so
yeah,
because isn't the whole thing that like you're not certain if this glyph is coming towards you?
ah, it's true.
Yeah, but I think if we can set the fiction up, then I do see it. And I think like instinctively, yes, I will throw a knife at you, but it goes like whizzing past you, which very odd. You've never seen Xue Xin miss, but it's very dark, right? It happens
Yeah,
to the best of us.
yeah,
But I think maybe instinctively, I get out of the way of the
mhm,
glyph and I
yeah,
do spot it. Because also, I mean, she is behind me, but I am a Wulin. Like you don't just, and I am familiar with this effect. I don't think that I wasn't aware she was there, if that sounds fair.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I also
no.
called out behind you.
Yeah, so I think the knife does go whizzing for Red
Mhm.
Crane in instinct, but it misses. And then I will duck and it with the same like movement, just throw like a bunch of darts that go like to pin.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and pick an element and roll comfort and support.
I will um yeah, I'll also use fire. Sure, why not? Speed mostly, because this is a very,
Mm.
very quick movement that we're doing here.
Absolutely. I love it.
Oh, I think maybe yeah, let's make it cool and horrifying for you, Red Crane. I think you see that like lightning leap. You see the
Oh,
glitch and the
mhm.
veins like showing more possession for a second as I get out of the way of your glyph and have to be really fast. That's an 11.
I really should exercise.
All
Yeah.
right.
Oh my God,
So comfort and
exercise.
support on a okay. So on a hit, you lift them up. They may choose. So this is Red Crane.
Mhm.
You may choose to gain a bond with Xue Xin, but the idea I think is that you gain the bond and immediately spend it. So
Yeah,
effectively, your 9 can
that's
become a 10.
yeah,
Um,
that's what I was going for. That's what I would be going for.
uh, cool.
Even though it would be funny if I was at a 9, the complication was that your knife hits me, right?
So I will give
That
you
would
this
have also, yeah.
choice. So on a hit, you get to choose. Or sorry, Red Crane, you get to choose. You can turn this 9 into a 10,
Mhm.
or you can clear your fire that you just marked to even like do this attack, to do this exorcist move.
Ah, ah,
But if it's a
and
9, there will be a complication. And again, because
can the complication be that her dagger hits me because I moved wrong or because
I
just
was
bad
yes,
luck or something? Because I would
I
Or
love that.
I had narrated that she intended to miss, but maybe she didn't intend to miss.
Yeah. Well, you
Well,
intended
who
to miss.
knows?
Maybe your intent is because you also said Shui Xin never misses.
Yeah,
Um,
I think if it's a 9, I will leave it more vague whether she meant to
Yeah,
miss and you stepped wrong, bad luck,
yeah,
or if indeed she
it's
meant to
probably
hit
bad.
you.
I mean, I can tell myself that it was bad luck.
um,
Yeah, so I get hit. Um,
so yeah, well, here's the interesting thing. If you get hit, what does that do? Because you're clearing fire. I don't want to make
that
you mark
me,
wounded.
but I do.
Okay. Do you want to mark wounded?
I totally not want to mark wounded. I've been hit by a poison dagger. Come on. By the
Where
woman I
where do I
love.
hit
But
you?
I
Where do
mean,
you get hit? Is it like
like,
right in the chest? Is it an arm? Where is it?
um, I
Just like a,
yeah, that's a good question, but I think shoulder or something. Is that
and
does that
is it
sound?
a grazing blow
Oh,
or is it like a thum and it like sticks?
I mean it's poison, so I wonder if it's just this graze across his cheek.
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
So, but it's poison, so it's still debilitating. Is that okay? Do you think, Jazzy? What's your thought?
No, yeah, I think the winter moon is like known for the smallest cut can kill you,
Yeah.
right? Like I think they're like known for being such good assassins because a lot of people die, and it's not like after an autopsy that they find like just the smallest, tiniest cut that
Yeah,
was like
yeah,
poisoned and killed them.
yeah,
Like it's so many people like die and don't ever realize that they were even cut in the first
yeah,
place.
yeah. So let's make it that cut. I mean, you will see that happened, and then we can inner conflict each other again.
um, but ultimately,
But for now, we have another problem.
yeah. Ultimately, the exorcist, the move.
Oh, I rolled the
Yeah,
move.
you rolled it. You
Yeah, it
sorry.
is a 9. Yeah, that
Let's
was a complication, but it was successful. So it
yes.
holds. It creates a barrier against that.
Also, because it was a 10 plus on comfort and support, Xue Xin, you also get to either clear an element yourself, ask Red Crane a question they must answer, or gain a bond with them. We'll let you think on that.
Yeah.
Let's go above decks really quickly and check in on Jiang Hu and Jade Wind.
Mhm.
So Jiang Hu, your sibling, stands across from you in this ring, and Lord knows where they got this showmanship from, but they take control of this crowd, and you see them gesture to Taisha Shun and say, "I will be your champion. I will show you that the Hu family, the beggar's drum that my brother has practiced is." Actually, no. This is the Wulin world, so they're going to be far more polite.
Beggar's drum isn't my family style though.
Oh
Beggar's
yeah,
drum
that's
is what I
yeah,
pick
yeah, yeah.
up on the road. Yeah.
Right. Um, yeah. Actually, rewind a second. So they still come in. They still like they give a sort of acknowledgement to Taisha Shun, and then she turns and says, "Brother,
I don't need your help. I can do this myself.
I'm not here to help you. I'm here to learn from you.
Oh, well,
Your there's a funny thing that happens in a lot of wuxia where like the way that they declare a duel is I look forward to accepting like your tutelage or something, or I look forward to um this education, saying like I look forward to seeing how your how our styles, how I can learn from you. And then guess in this case what she would say is, you have a very interesting new style. Would you care to show me some of its techniques in front of all of these people?
of of course.
Because I've been studying under a new teacher as well, and she has a very powerful style. One that I think not even not even our brother could have defeated in his best of days.
Ooh. I look up the Taishi Shun and like, is this what you want?
Taishishin looks down, and oh, by the way, you were able to get her away for a while, but eventually, Fading Glint would have had to like come back and pretend to be on this guy's arm again. Now, she's got enough social ability to where like she's not fully like chained to his arm or anything,
Right.
but she's definitely like behind him and in the shadows. Um and Taisha Shun kind of looks down and uh he's confused about this development, uh but he kind of shrugs his shoulders and goes, sure. I think he like gives a nod, because if you're defeated, then at least maybe he can save some face here. Um, and so yeah, he sort of gestures as like, sure, get on with it. Actually, no, you've insulted his family. You've insulted like his family's been insulted twice today. I think he says, I'll give you some absurd amount of, I'll give you 100 gold if you humiliate this interloper. And he says that to Jade Wind, and Jade Wind like politely bows and says, I accept your offer. And turns back to you, Jiang Hu, and says, would you like to learn my new technique? Would you like to see my new technique?
I would be lying if I said I wasn't curious.
Um yeah, is there any inner conflict here at all?
I think there is, yeah. Because I do want to fuck with Taishi Clan, but I don't want to necessarily fight my sister like this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so go ahead and pick a non-combat, non-style element. Also give yourself XP for rolling inner conflicts.
I think it's Earth. I think it's Earth.
Caution, focus, presence.
Yep.
Or also obsessiveness.
Yeah. 2d6 minus 1. That's a 4.
A 4.
Make it much worse.
I think. Oh man. So my knee-jerk way it gets worse is that like this fight, however it shakes out, I'm going to put Jade Wind above your scale. That some combination of Xue Xin's techniques, also just your unpreparedness, also the poison, just a lot of stuff like piling up on itself. You've also just been in a fight. You might be a little tired. I'm tempted to put them above your style. Do you have any other suggestions to like what could really be like worse here? I could also, I'm eyeballing flickering glint here, but I don't really know how necessarily she would get involved. It is night. Spooky things could happen, but I feel like in the middle of this like large crowd, I'm kind of happy with just like leaving it as Jade Wind is above your scale, at least for this fight. So yeah, opening bouts. I think Jade Wind comes at you, and it's similar to this lightning leap. I think it's because that's got to be based off of a technique that Xue Xin might have already like had foundation for. You watch as Jade Wind like slowly settles into a sort of on guard stance, but even as slow as they are moving, and it is like she slides like molasses into this stance, but somehow there is still just the faint trace of after images like under her, and then before you know it, her right arm is somewhere where it was not before. It's totally in, like, if it was folded in, it is now folded out. And the next thing that you know, she has hit you square in the chest.
Right.
And like, not a,
That's
not
dope.
a,
Yeah.
yeah. And like, it sends you back a couple steps and she's standing where you were just right there. And you have no clue how she crossed that distance that fast.
Yeah. Love it.
Um, how does how does your response look?
I think stunned because I expected her to, like, I knew she was training, but I didn't know that she had picked that much up. And I think it's a little bit of panic. Like, I was expecting this to be a fun little brawl, mess with some gangsters and have some fun. But now it's just like serious, and I was not prepared for serious. So I was a little bit panicked, I think.
Cool.
And kind of like start like doing some stuff to like buy myself some time. I'm like, oh, now I'm doing the showy, like, oh, okay, here we go. Just trying to figure out what to do next.
Yeah, I think like as your scarves and silks like flail up, Jadewind just like bats them down, swats them aside, and like you're watching your silks go flying off to the side and you have to like reel them back in. And every time you do, she's just there and like forcing you back step by step. You have to like lift a foot so to avoid a sweep. And it's only then that like another hit like tags you in the chest and sends you back.
Yep.
Do you defend yourself?
Yeah, cool. I have to.
This is going to be a duel below scale.
Yeah.
Roll your style element and
6.
Okay. If your scale is below your foes, you lose the conflict. Wow, there's actually no miss condition here.
Yeah.
So it just gets worse.
Just gets worse.
So first of all, yeah, okay. So if you do not, I think actually no matter what, even on a 7 to 9, I'm probably on a 7 to 9, you mark an element of your choice.
Yep.
On a miss, I'm going to say you mark your style element.
Yes, exactly. And probably wounded also, I would say.
Actually, so
yeah.
Yeah, the way that it works is you can mark wounded instead of an element. I'm not going to make you mark both, but I am going to get a second like hard move.
Yeah.
And I think in this case, are you going to mark wounded or are you going to mark your style element?
I'm going to mark the style.
Okay.
Yeah, because she messed me up.
Cool. So, yeah. Man, it's like I know what I have to do, and I see point A and point B, and I'm trying to find the connecting tissue here. I think I'm gonna hold on to the hard move because I know what I want to do. This just isn't the right moment to do it. So I'm just gonna make a note that like I owe you a hard move.
Can I make a suggestion?
You can, yeah.
I think she's just pummeling me, and I'm like just about out, and I think I'm like, okay, it's time to make an exit before I just get completely murdered. And I turn to exit, and as I turn at the edge of the ring, and Taishi Lu is there, dripping wet, and just boom, like knocks me out.
I dig it. Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely, and the Taishi clan will then like save face.
Yeah. And I'm probably going to prison.
I love that. Yeah, I think the next time we see you, you'll actually be Jazzy's jiving for a prison break.
And regain consciousness in a cell.
yeah, and it won't be in the Nine Tails. Actually, the magistrate is going to take you away. Fantastic. So, great. There is that. Down below decks, let's resolve this. Now we can finally resolve this exorcist role. Yeah, I think it will be enough to like bar. Sorry, what were you hoping to accomplish? Did you want to like protect Xue Xin, or did you
Yeah,
want to actively remove
no,
Princess Invincible?
well, my first instinct was to bar her from reaching Xu Shen and myself,
Mhm.
because she looked a little scary, and she probably is. So I don't want to roll to see her scale because, I mean,
You already know, like
she's
you know, you have,
probably over my scale. So
yeah.
no. Yeah, and I already know because I had to mark an element. So yeah, now I'm trying to bar her from getting to Zhizhen. And she is the big bad, right? She's not a henchman or anything
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
absolutely. And yeah, but still,
She's not a worthy agent of the villain, is my question here.
correct. Yes.
That's a
I mean,
pity.
unless I redefine who the villain is. Um. Uh. But I do have a worthy agent of the villain. I
Oh,
do have a few of them actually, like
nice.
on.
But not right now. They're not here right now. So
I
I
mean, they
will.
could be.
I think I will still try. It wouldn't work, but I will still try
Well, I
to
mean, according
appeal.
to. Oh, so you'll try to what? Sorry, I didn't mean to
I'm
interrupt.
trying to appeal to her better nature
Um. Sure. Yeah.
because I have a move for that works on the worthy agent of a villain, but she's a villain herself. But who cares?
I'm willing to squint and say, like, let's still turn this into a role and we'll figure out what exactly that
Okay.
means. Or, I mean, hearts and minds could also just sort of apply here.
Yeah, but I feel if
Um,
Hearts and Minds could do a better job than a special move
that's
can,
right.
then
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
think that
Um,
would totally invalidate that move. So
yeah,
I will try. I mean, it might be useless, but that's who this character is, right? And
yeah.
also, I still I realize that something is wrong with my face, but and I shouldn't protect the person. Uh, Fuck this. I want to protect the person possessed by a demon
You want to
because I want
protect.
to
Yeah,
protect
yeah, yeah,
people.
absolutely.
Protecting people is good.
And I mean, to be fair, your exorcism role did succeed. It was a hit.
Yeah,
It was a seven
yeah,
to
yeah.
nine. So
So she's staying behind, and I can talk to her now.
yeah, absolutely. And so I think like again, I only know how to speak in movie references, and so it's like that it's like the Darth Maul situation in Star Wars
Hmm.
where it's like there's an invisible barrier, and like I think you actually see her like
Yeah.
reach out and sort of like touch an invisible point in the space between you, maybe like where this like floating glyph is, and she just sort of withdraws her hand, and like she understands the sort of tension here. But since you want to talk to her,
I'll say if you are actually, if there's some part of Princess Invincible still in you, tell me what you are trying to achieve. Why are you doing this? Why are you reaping people from the grave? Why you're attacking? What are you doing here? Let me understand.
this actually I'm going to say is a study role because
Yeah,
you're trying to ask
that's
questions about
fine.
the world.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
So much I am.
I think Xue Xin will just pipe up, like knives are out. She's standing there. She's just say, "You cannot reason with evil, Red Crane." And she's like getting ready to strike.
Yeah, I want to hear her answer. I will ignore that for now. I will roll with
I'm
yeah,
going to
I
say
think
this
with
barrier affects you too, Shueishin. Like it's a barrier for spirits.
And
And
she will know that when she hurls herself
there you
at
go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
yeah, I'm rolling with Earth here.
Awesome. A lot of earth rolls today. Very,
Yeah,
very earthy session.
that's a 9.
A 9. So I
That's
believe you get
study
to,
hall. I get to ask a question, which I already have.
yeah. And again, I'll ask, you can declare a detail about the scene, um, if you
No,
want to.
I want to know what her motivation is. What's she trying to achieve here? What's she doing? What's her goal? Why is she doing this?
Yeah. We are coming up on the end of the session, so
Mhm.
I'll give a witty retort. I'll open the door just in case anybody wants to respond to it, and then we'll move into stars and wishes.
Mhm.
So what you hear her like, and I think as like the end, as the theme music sort of like begins to vamp up, or like a string or who version of it, as Jiang Hu, like we see like the different faces of these people represented by different Wulin sects. We see dawning joy, we see flickering or fading glint, we see the Taisha, the patriarch, um and Princess Invincible, in this like low droning monotone, she says, all of this misery has been brought about us from warring clans and sects and conflicts that began long before we were born and will continue long after we are gone. I'm here to end it all. I want to destroy every Wulin sect out there, so no one can bring this kind of sorrow ever again. I'll like, if you got a witty retort, I'll let you put it in. But if not, we're gonna go to end credits.
I think, unless Red Green wants to say something, I think Xue Xin will just say, "Don't you ever fucking talk to me about sorrow." And then she will like try to go for it, but the barrier, does keep her from actually fighting. But I think we just see like that rage, like how fucking dare you? Maybe we get like the end where I'm like not yet at the barrier, although we know that I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
actually fight her right
Yeah,
now.
I like that.
I
Yeah,
love that. That's a fantastic end shot, like
yeah.
straight into very wistful um or her music. Fantastic. So now we
Yes.
have end of session. If anybody has to go, if you have a hard out at the hour, we can do this stuff on Discord. But if not, let's just go. Let's go right to left in character keeper. Looking at your entanglements again, you get 2 XP for one of them. If you significantly encountered one of them, you get a third experience if you encountered both. So, romantic entanglement. Jiang Hu did. I think you I think
I
you
hit both.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah, and yeah, definitely your second one.
for
So you
sure.
get 3 XP. Xue Xin.
Mhm.
It's funny because you kind of, I mean, you encountered the people in it, but I don't know if like you directly dealt with the entanglement
I
itself.
mean, I didn't meet Xiao this session, which is fine. So I don't think the romantic one.
Mhm.
I would definitely say
Yeah,
that GA Red Crane one though.
yeah,
Absolutely. So 2
yeah,
XP for you.
yeah.
And then Red Crane, romantic.
I think
Um,
both. Both. I interacted with
you
Shisha,
did, yeah. You
and I
pursued.
asked Jiang Hu about Bitter Crane, Bitter
Mhm.
Claw, Bitter Claw,
Absolutely,
and
absolutely. We still didn't get to see him, but like you actively pursued
yeah,
that lead. So
yeah,
I'm totally, yeah, willing to say 3
yeah.
XP for you.
And if I hadn't messed up my inner conflict roll, I still might have pursued that. But no, I had to rush off and try to protect someone I don't actually. I mean, I kind of like, but yeah. Anyway.
Oh, I
Uh,
might. Okay, cool. I'm dawning joy here, making notes.
okay.
Um,
Dawning Joy does not get to hear my inner monologue.
no, but I the keeper do.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fair.
so because I am definitely not going to use that against you ever at all. She hears all. There's just like a little camera cut that like does the like from one side of the wall to the other, and there's dawning joy, just like
Through the keyhole, we just see her eye. She's like writing shit down.
oh my god, what have I done? Let's go into stars and wishes. Stars, give somebody a gold star for role play or things that happen during the session. I've got to collect my notes here, but feel free to whoever wants to go, or I can call people out.
I can go. Yeah, Mark, I absolutely adore Jiang Hu this session. Absolutely love the vibe that you're bringing for them. Um, I think I preemptively starred. I don't remember like what line it was. But just I love the like playing up your drunkenness and like really playing sort of this humble, bumbling fool, not a threat at all, but like having all that power underneath is really cool. I loved the way that you interacted with Fading Glint, and then that fight at the end with Jade Wind was oof. You really, I really love like us building on that like suggestion, like oh she's gonna, actually find fault with you, escalating to no, she's actually just better because she trained under your enemy, which is crazy. I really love that, and like you rolling with that and escalating that for yourself. Um, for Sabine, I love that we kind of got to see Red Crane's nasty side this session. Like he was nasty to Dawning Joy. Like Jesus Christ, I felt bad for her, but I thought that was kind of interesting to show these different sides of him. And then the end with like the bad luck and the panic. And I also love him like instantly vibing with Onyx Viper. Just like, oh yeah, yeah, sure. My life kind of sucks right now. I need a new buddy. That's fine. That's great. So I like that. I like what that's setting up for Onyx Viper. That's a star for Kevin. I like bringing that character in because immediately all of us would like, sounds sus. I adored your the whole Taishu Jung, Taishu Yu was very funny. I liked like sort of the difference in tone there, and especially like I liked sort of bringing in the politics of like yes, this is silly, but we do need to save face. I can't just like let this happen. This does have consequences. I thought that was really great. And then like the moonlight and the your breath becomes visible, like all super spooky, and I love spooky stuff. Which is I'd love maybe a little bit tighter spotlight management or pacing, because a few times I was like, oh, I want to do something cool, and then by the time you got to me, it was like now like the moment has passed, which is not bad. Like we had other cool moments, but a few times I was like, I would have maybe liked to see a little bit more intercuts, or like a little bit faster. Like let's just do this, and then that's a decision that we make. Other than that, yeah, I want to see. Um, I do want some sort of confrontation between Xue Xin and like obviously I can't defeat her, but I would like for something to be there. Also, I took a bond for the comfort and support because we don't have time for the question, so I'll just take a bond. If I have one more, I can say something about Red Crane, which is kind of fun. Um, and yeah, I think Xue Xin and Jiang Hu really do need to like meet up now, and I really want to see like how that affects Jiang Hu's like behavior towards Xue Xin now that he knows that she is actually very powerful and made Jade Wind very powerful. And whatever that's. And yeah, I don't want to do a prison break. I was very happy about a Dancing Phoenix prison break, and I'm even happier about a PC prison break. That's really fun.
I can go next. Mark, I loved Jiang Hu as usual. I love like the vibe. I like his, yeah, sure, fine. Oh, I like every kind of wine. And poison was that meh. Man, I can deal with that, we thought. And I absolutely love the way where like when somebody asks you, do you throw the fight? And you were like, the hell no. I'm punching this I'm punching this fool. I loved that. And I loved how you stood up for Dancing Phoenix and the other one, Fading Light or something.
Fitting glint. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that. And I like that scene that we had where you just dropped the drunken mask for a moment and talked. And yeah, I really like that. That was fun. And as for Xue Xin, I loved her training montage. I love her over enthusiastic apprentice and how embarrassed she is by that, actually. Yeah, and I love her the way she had like also her inner conflicts. They're always very fun to see. Um, and her hurling herself at the Princess Invincible, which was inevitable, right? In that situation. Kevin, I loved the whole, it was so frantic, like gangsters, demons, undead people who want to destroy the Wulin world. Ooh, that was a fun revelation. But also we had to deal with the mafia fools. Yeah, that was great. I really love that. My wish would be after the prison break, I want to do the prison break. I would like a chance for all of us to catch our breath. Also, I've been poisoned and I don't want to die of that. So maybe a kind of a grudging, um, uh, taking care of a wounded person scene with the person who knows who might have the antidote to her own poisons, right? I already promised not to exercise you, so. Oh, right. Dancing Phoenix is a healer.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, but where is she? She's
Yeah,
been
where
taken
is
by
she?
whoever. Damn it, I will to roll
I
my
guess we
conflict.
need to find her now so you don't die. It would be very like an assassin order to not actually know how to make the antidote to this.
Oh,
Like, yeah, I can
Don't
make
do
the
that.
poison. I don't know how to heal it. Why would I need
oh.
to know that? That
Yeah,
is silly.
yeah, the assassins who can't handle it, they don't make it to full assassindom,
Yeah,
right?
if you cut yourself, you deserve to die like the idiot
Exactly, of
you
course, yeah.
are. Come on
That's
Oh,
just
wow.
assassin Darwinism.
Cool.
Yeah, I can go. Yeah, stars all around. This was super, super fun. I'm real glad to be back in. I love the training montage thing and our new friend who is just delightful. I really enjoy the reporter character. The scholar. Yeah, super delightful. Um, yeah, seeing that side of Red Crane was great. Like having you try to talk me out of the fight was, not going to happen, but really fun to see happen. Anyway, yeah, and just all the supernatural spooky stuff happening beneath me, just being a loudmouth, and actually having consequences from all that stuff was really great too. Yeah, and thanks for like just rolling with like making it worse, make it worse, make it worse, get myself into more trouble. It was super fun. Yeah, wishes, Prison Break clearly. Yeah, having a talk with Shishin at some point about my sister and all that, and I think just getting Jiang Hu more involved in the more serious stuff that's going on. I mean, like the gangster stuff is super fun, but like kind of tangential to the like it feels like what the main thrust is. So I love it. Let's weave it in. Yeah, all
We
around good.
know, oh, yeah, we know they're connected a little because the
Yeah,
the supernatural stuff just attacked
was there.
the ship. So yeah, it's as we move towards the end of the series, like my plan is to have them connected. But of course, dice rolls and
Yeah.
player input always get a little wonky with that. Was that
Yeah.
all of your? Quite awesome. So yeah, stars all around. I'm definitely like still getting my feet under me with PBTA, and so yeah, I felt the spotlight management, like I'm like I trying to find that right balance of like role action, role resolution, and more experienced keepers than me like have those that have that like that sense or that feeling of like when to cut away. I'm still learning that technique, but I definitely felt it. So yeah, Jazzy, I hear you there, and definitely we'll try and like just get better at spotlight management. That's on me. Um, yeah, but for all that said, I love what you guys are doing to like fill the gaps that I have in my abilities as a keeper to like come up with some of this stuff on the fly, and that it is a conversation. And if I don't have a great idea about like what could go wrong here, like you guys have been great about like for example, just this last role with Jiang Hu, I'm like, I think I have an idea. I just don't know how to get there. And then you came in with like, here's a great idea as well. And now everybody's wish is tied to that moment. So star to Mark for coming up with the idea for Taishi Yu coming back in and clocking him out. And now we've got a prison break on us. Um, I had a star for Jazzy for in the chat being like, fine, I'll kiss him. And then going from fine, I'll kiss him to I won't kiss him in record time. Um, also, stars to everyone, like all of you, I think at one point were like, I want to do this thing because it'll either put me into a state of inner conflict or somebody else into a state of inner conflict. I think all of you did that at least, once during this session. The one I remember was Jazzy. You mentioned Jade Wind getting involved in this fight to hopefully spark Jiang Hu's inner conflict. And just yeah, that just makes my job here all the easier. And again, reinforcing like this is a story we're telling together. um and yeah, Red Crane, Sabine, I loved like your little narration of there's a flute play, maybe there's like a flute player or something while I'm doing this meditation. I'm like, yeah, not only is there a flute being played, but if there's a flute being played, there's got to be a flute player, which means I can introduce a cutie. So yeah, that was fun. So thank you for feeding that to me on a silver platter. um and yeah, and you guys have just been really great, like especially on the meta level for helping me out with these, it gets worse than that, and like making the story and taking it, and it feels like a really good sort of flow as to like the things that I have on deck, and like the things that you guys want to see and roll more of. I do agree like with wishes that like yeah, it'd be cool to have. I agree. I think like the pacing or my intent with the next session is going to be like, let's do this prison break, and then have a moment to like really like chew the scenery, find some beauty in this world, and then we'll roll back into hopefully some more supernatural spookiness. So that is I think my evil devious plans. But yeah, I think that is going to be my wish, is like finding those slivers of beauty in this world, and what makes this world important to these characters. I've obviously introduced a character who says she wants to tear it all down, and destroy all of it. So the counterbalance to that would be you guys finding something in the world to fight for, and that'll be my wish, is to like to see those things from all of you. Catching up on chat. Awesome. Anybody else have any other starsies or wishes? All in all, this has been really fun. Like I said, I'm a newer PBTA keeper in GM. So again, thank you for rolling with me on that. But you guys have been
Yeah, I
just
would not be able to tell that this was not.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're doing
Genuinely.
great. Like the wishes is more so like just a tiny like smidge, but it's
Yeah.
definitely not like trust me, I've been in sessions that are like way worse.
Yeah,
So
like
no
Yeah.
worries, no worries at all.
and like I remember like a couple times like mentioning in chat like cool we're gonna do this and then we'll get to other characters in just a second
Mhm.
but like it's on my mind.
Mhm.
So yeah, a little bit tighter, and also like giving you guys a chance to uh, uh, take more agency. I mean, I feel like I'm giving you guys a fair bit of agency, but I feel like I stole a bit of it when I was like at the end of the training montage. Like, here's how you could get back involved with the other
Yeah, that's fine.
characters,
I mean, honestly, I would have been fine if you were just like, you're there now. Like,
and
that's
maybe
fine. That's ultimately, I feel like, for me at least, I view it as a TV series, right? Like, we watch the scenes where we are together and where something interesting is happening. The training has happened. There's nothing more to do
yeah.
there. It's fine. I'd just be like, listen, you're where the action is now because that's what the audience wants to see.
Yeah, and I might steal a little bit as well from like PBTA stuff when we do get a chance to like sit down and breathe, like really talk with you guys about not just like wishes necessarily, but like your character intent on like their next big arc kind of thing, like example in like a day phase of a CFB game being like where do you want to go, what do you want to do, and really sort of doing that. It's just I feel like the way that this game works is like there is a lot of like you build and you build and you build and you build. There's a fight scene, and then everybody kind of goes away and like scatters, and then you get back into that place where you build and you build and you build. But yeah, definitely like programming more of a pause. Let's talk about the bigger concept things and where you want your guys to go. And if I feel like if we like get a sort of input from everyone, then if somebody hears something where it's like, oh, I want to go to a temple or wherever, then maybe another player can be like, I'd like to do that
Mm.
too.
Kevin, one more thing.
Mhm.
Can we maybe space out the breaks more evenly? Because we had one at the break of the first hour, and then we ran 2 hours, and now
That's
I'm
true.
really getting a headache from the whole thing.
True.
So I would like it if we did it at the middle point or after each
Sure.
hour or whatever. But yeah, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, if we do like one break in the middle, it'll be like a nice good 15 minute. Or if we do like a one on each hour, it'll be like 10 minutes. But yeah, awesome. Cool. Good feedback. Great. Then I will see you guys on the Discord server, and
Yep.
yeah, I'll see y'all next week.
See you next
Thank
time.
you for running and
Bye.
playing. See you
Thank you for
around.
running.
Yeah.
Bye.